questions about life, worried about what's up ahead, when we could just live it up tonight. Sometimes it goes the way you want it, sometimes it goes the other way. Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride. Sometimes we all go falling off the wagon, all get high on our own horse. Give yourself a break, it happens. Get up and go back for more. Sometimes it goes the way you want it, sometimes it goes the other way. Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride. Sometimes, oh, sometimes. Don't worry about the last time, only this time. Cause you know sometimes you're gonna get it right. So grab your good friend and have a good time. You're only here for a short time. Only got 60 on the clock and it ain't never gonna stop. Gotta live for every minute like it's the last one you got. Spend it wisely, spend a lot on the ones that you love. Take a minute, soak it in, and then go turn it back up. Make sure you live it up until it's all said and done. Yeah, this life is what you make it sweet and get you some. Sometimes it goes the way you want it, sometimes it goes the other way. Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride. Sometimes it goes the way you want it, sometimes it goes the other way. Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride. Sometimes worry about the last time, only this time. Cause you know sometimes you're gonna get it right. Sometimes and have a good time. You're only here for a short time. Sometimes.
In the blue, morning starts anew. Sunrise in my eyes, gentle morning sky. Daydreams softly gleam, flowing like a stream. Colors warm and bright, in the morning vision light. White clouds in the sky, as the moments fly. Whispers in the breeze, ringing gentle, subtle breeze. Oh, looking through the light, everything feels right. Skies of white and blue, finding peace with you. Hold on tight to me in this harmony, in this quiet night. Through the day and night, I'll be gentle morning sky.
End of the days, up in a haze, wearing my darkest clothes. Smoke on the walls, flooding the hall, feels like we're getting close. Taking the hit, think this is it, give me the overdose. Heavy metal on my wrist, put it on and go. With my head up, know exactly what I got. Time to turn it up, get everyone around us. Cause tonight gonna dance until we black out. Cause tonight, dance until we black. Cause tonight gonna dance until we black out. Gonna wake up with your face down. I can hear my feelings with the bass up. You are safe here, everything is blacked out. Cause tonight gonna dance until we black out. Gonna wake up with your face down. Feel your heartbeat speeding with the bass up. Everything is blacked out. They were holding me down, holding me back, holding me tight and close. Breaking me down, riding my back, down on my knees and toes. But I got up and I became stronger than before. Heavy metal on my fist, had to break the door. With my head up, know exactly what I want. Time to turn it up, get everyone around us. Cause tonight gonna dance until we black out. Wake up with your face down. I can hear my feelings with the bass up. You're safe here, everything is blacked out. Cause tonight gonna dance until we black out. Gonna wake up with your face down. Feel your heartbeat speeding.
Incoming transmission.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GSL. Today we're going into Group B.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. We had a really stellar day of games yesterday with Group A. And now in Group B, GuMiho, Bunny, SHIN, and ByuN. We're going to be looking at a lot of TVT, a lot of TVZ.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun mix, man. I'm getting more used to the tempo of StarCraft these days, that we just had like event after event after event, GSL on back-to-back days.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're
exciting.
powering through the StarCraft 2 right now. EWC is just around the corner. This is going to be the final GSL of the year. Group A was great. We had some very interesting games. Very long day, actually. Longer than I think any of the days we had in the previous season, even.
Yeah, I think we got out of here at like 11 p.m. and we started at 6:30. So that's a long day for GSL.
It's funny, when it goes on long enough, I'm like, oh, man, all the people are going to have to take taxis home because Subway closes at 12 in Seoul. Today, I don't think will be as long. TVT does seem to be a little bit more not drawn out. It seems like you can end games pretty quickly. It's funny because historically, all going back to the very first year or two of StarCraft 1, TVT was always considered the longest, most drawn-out matchup. And I feel like with StarCraft 2, every year it gets a little bit tighter, a little bit shorter. Yeah,
it's really volatile. It actually reminds me a little bit of PvP in the olden days.
Yeah.
How it feels like it's not exactly rock, paper, scissors. Obviously, it's a lot more nuanced than that. But just sometimes the way the openings break, one player's ahead, one player's behind. And in TVT, like most mirror matchups, usually just the slightest edge can mean that somebody's going to die pretty soon.
It's a very, Terran's a very glass cannon-y race. And so it seems like when you have both sides being very brittle, yeah, I mean, if one can break right away and the game can just end.
So for Season 2 of GSL, we're going to have 1 week off before we go into the round of 8. Group A and Group B. So next week there will be no GSL.
Yep.
And then we're going to return on June 11th and June 12th with a round of 8, and the finals will be on Sunday, June 15th. Now, if you want to go to the finals and if you want to go to the round of 8, make sure you get those tickets as quickly as possible. With the information on screen right now, those tickets go on sale on June 6th. Get them quick. Audience, again, last season, they were telling me that they sold out within minutes, and they were very lucky to get their tickets. Group 8, usually, it's like 75% full for Group 8, usually. Or the round of 8, excuse me. But the finals, it always sells out. It always will sell out. Get those tickets very quickly.
We've never not had a GSL finals sell out. By the way, guys, this is all funded through viewer support. This is the state StarCraft 2 is in, but this is kind of the state the whole internet's in, right? You know, now it's about crowdfunding. It's about connecting with the fans. If you want to support us, go to the Patreon.
Yeah, you get a lot of cool perks. Actually, I noticed on the way home, before I arrived home from GSL yesterday, I got an email in my inbox saying that like the GSL replays were already uploaded.
Yeah.
Like,
They're really fast.
It is so fast. Oh man, it's really impressive. Anyway, the way that Group A shook out, we have Solar and Zound advancing into the round of 8. Of course, in this format of GSL, we have longer. We have a stage 2 of the qualifiers. So Rogue and Maru already directly seeded into Group A. Hero and Classic already seeded in Group B. Group B, one unlucky player, or lucky, depending on your perspective of these guys, is going to be joining 3 Protosses in the round of 8. Oh man, I do not envy them.
Yeah, today we've got GuMiho, Bunny, SHIN, and ByuN. SHIN off of an amazing performance over at DreamHack. Yeah, it's going to be a fun group. I think it's pretty tough to call who actually advances here. We will have an idea, though, of who is the best TV tier for sure by the time the day is done.
Yeah, I feel like this one kind of goes anyway. I could see literally anybody here advancing. I really want to see actually what the players, or not the players, the fans voted on. Because usually... I feel like our fans, you know, we're StarCraft players. We're pretty smart. The fans usually have a pretty good read on the state of things. But I find it hard to choose just any individual player as a favorite coming into today. Now, GuMiho is TVT. Historically, everybody in Korea is just afraid of this guy because he plays a very unique brand of TVT. He's not afraid of going mech. If he does open bio, he might transition into mech very quickly. He's very crafty. He's very good at the early game where there are some very... diverse builds. This guy has the most diverse repertoire out of all of them. And he's deadly for that reason in TBT, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I love casting GuMiho. I do feel like he has the biggest range of play out of any player, I think, in the entirety of the GSL. He's very smart. Bunny, looking forward to seeing how this guy is going to perform here today. He's also steadily been improving. Reminds me a lot of Cure in that, like, you know, Bunny on any given day is going to be really strong. I do feel like he's historically been a bit overshadowed by the other Terrans that we have here. But yeah, I think he certainly has a shot at getting out of this group.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day, man. You know, having 3 Terrans in this group, having 3 Terrans with pretty distinct play styles is really cool. GuMiho just always a wild card. Bunny, this is a guy that absolutely loves to send medevacs. Like, he will scan, and he will see an army in your main base, and he will still send medevacs into the main. He is just an absolute maniac with the drops. It is a really, really fun play style for TVT. And then later on, of course, SHIN versus ByuN. I mean, ByuN has got some of the flashiest early game micro in the game today. And so I think this is going to be a lot of really fun, explosive games. We're going to have a deep dive into TVT today as Leylines, Ultra 11, Tokamak are the 3 maps GuMiho and Bunny will be playing on. Lobby is getting set up. Who do you think is going to take this one, Tasteless? If you had to choose.
I think maybe GuMiho.
Yeah?
Maybe. You know, we were talking about this earlier, but I feel like anybody could advance here today. This is one of these groups, you know, I would not be a gambling, betting man on a group like this. I think it's too hard to call. Anyways, guys, our game is loaded up. We're going into game 1 here on Leylines, GuMiho versus Bunny. Okay, GuMiho here in the top right, Bunny in the bottom left. And immediately.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
Only one SCV
he only sent
for
one
GuMiho.
out. Okay, so this is, first of all, to be clear, Bunny is the one that's going to do the proxy here. It's actually GuMiho. This is a concept I love. You just scout their main because then you know if you're going to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dude, I totally stand corrected. I thought, okay, when I saw the SCV going across the map for GuMiho, I thought he was just going to scout the main to confirm if there's a proxy, because if you don't see anything in the main, then you know something's hidden on the map. But instead, it's double racks for Bunny on the far right. Even closer is GuMiho's 1 barracks outside of Bunny's base. Now, I think that this is worse for GuMiho, I think. Because
I feel like it just has to be, right?
Right? Two barracks is going to be better than one. But, you know, nobody's going to have defenders back at home. So what happens? You know, it's so funny. You don't very often get a game where you're both proxying each other. It's pretty common to have a game where one person's doing it. But, you know, both of these guys are playing.
It's a tech lab.
Okay, so he's going to get Marauders.
Whoa.
It's going to make his depot over there, too. This is so funny. So this SCV is going to come in now. GuMiho is going to be the first to be aware, okay, I'm getting rushed. He's going to see that second gas being taken. Note that there is a Reaper being made here for GuMiho. There's no units being made yet for Bunny. He just starts that first Marauder.
I have never seen double proxy barracks Marauder versus a proxy Reaper.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marauder will kill a Reaper, no problem.
Oh yeah, concussive shells help a lot against those speedy guys.
But one Reaper, in theory, can just play keep away against all these SCVs and slowly kill them off. The damage is going to start here with GuMiho killing SCVs for Bunny.
Bunny not pulling those SCVs. For a second there, I was wondering if he's just going to take the damage and try and mine as many resources as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
You know, there is a very interesting dynamic. This is a little bit down the road. So the Marauders absolutely are going to be able to beat these Reapers, but Marauders just don't shoot up. We could have a really weird situation in a couple of minutes where, like, GuMiho might have some flying buildings. Things get really weird. We do have a starport going down right now for our blue Terran player, GuMiho. I think Bunny going for the supply depot is a really smart move right now. Just try and supply block and maybe stop the bleeding. But he is going to be losing all the workers out at home. These SCVs are going to have a very hard time chasing down 2 Marauders with concussive shells. Make that 3 Marauders now.
Okay,
overall, the mining is better for GuMiho.
There's no more SCVs. I mean, we're getting the last few execution style killed off. Basically, Bunny's... Okay, so Bunny's going to make a tech lab. He wants to make 1 Banshee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
GuMiho.
GuMiho, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, GuMiho is going to make 1 Banshee. Does he have enough money for a Banshee?
I mean, he's floating so much. He's got to build a couple of depots, but...
Now, keep in mind, even if you lose all your workers, you can land mules.
I feel like this is just going to be checkmate, right? Like, you get a Banshee out, you get a Viking out, and there's no tie anymore, and your opponent only has Marauders. He's even getting Cloak. You don't need that, GuMiho. You're fine, bro.
Yeah, that's a bit of a win-war move here.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, nothing's wrong with it, but...
Now, again, Reapers can't shoot up, Marauders can't shoot up. Obviously, we all know that. But, yeah, the Banshee, it would seem to me, is just going to be the fatal blow here. So this should go to GuMiho. I've never casted a game like this.
Yeah, this
is, by the way, why StarCraft is so sick. Is like, you know, you never know what you're going to get out of a given game.
Wait, can you steal the add-ons? That still works in StarCraft 2, right? I remember this was in Wings of Liberty. I remember stealing. I used to play Terran. I remember trying to steal people's add-ons in Wings of Liberty. It was a lot of fun. I wonder if that's still in the game. Oh boy. So GuMiho, he's tagged his barracks onto the command center. He's building the Viking now. So nothing Bunny has can shoot up. I would be surprised if we didn't just see GG as soon as the Viking pops, because for Bunny right now there still is a chance that GuMiho hasn't mined enough to get a Viking out. But as soon as that Viking is out, it is checkmate.
Yeah, so Viking can obviously just come in here and hit the flying buildings. So you've got something that can hit air and ground. So it is physically impossible now for Bunny to win the game. And I think when he sees this Viking, that will prompt him to GG. 2 supply.
Yeah, 1 Marauder.
GG. Okay.
What a bizarre game.
Yeah, that was what, like 5 minutes? Yeah.
5 minutes and 2 seconds.
So short and sweet. We never have a game like that. We don't really see Proxy Marauder that often. I feel like we see that very rarely versus Protoss.
Right. I feel like if that was just Proxy Reaper, it would have been better for Bunny. But I mean, you go for builds like this.
Look at Bunny.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do?
You can't even really be mad after a game like that. You're like, well, all right. I mean,
it's just the luck of the draw when you go for proxies in a situation like that one.
Ultra Love is going to be map number 2 here. GuMiho with a 1-0 lead. That whatever we saw in that last game, it will not be replicated here. That was kind of a 1 in 1,000 games, you know?
Yeah, that was fun. I got a big smile on my face after that one. All right, GuMiho versus Bunny. Our game is loading up. GuMiho, if he wins this match, is going to go to the winner's match already here in Group B. Ultra Love is the map. Let's get to it.
Okay, GuMiho here in the bottom left, Bunny in the top right. Do we have any SCVs getting sent out?
No.
Keep in mind, you know, it's always funny when you have a group in GSL and there's one guy who's like, in this case, a Zerg, and then you have 3 Terrans. Because from the Zerg player's perspective, he just has one matchup he has to prepare for. Now, that does come with its own burdens. You know, if you're playing too basic, players can kind of look at that and go, all right, well, I'm going to tweak my build and basically counter it. So you do have to have a variety of games. But TVT, they've got to obviously all be ready for this TVZ that they're going to go into. But at the same time, yeah, you need a big range of TVT builds. Mirror matchups, you really can't play too basic if you have a whole bunch of opponents in one group.
Yeah, it's probably going to be about the same for SHIN, too, coming into ZBT with 3 potential Terran opponents.
Yeah.
It's especially difficult because, you know, DreamHack Dallas was, what, just a week ago?
Yeah.
And SHIN had a really deep run, made it into the playoff bracket. I believe beat Clem. I think the score was 3-1, if I remember correctly. And I guarantee you every single player in this group went back and watched that one coming into this series.
It's that or that fox's ass is exploding right now. It's shot by a siege tank. So this game, it is going to be a command center going down on the low ground here for GuMiho, who is teching. He's getting a Reaper. Well, I guess not teching that dramatically. On the other hand, for Bunny, he is going into the factory tech.
Kind of a cute build from GuMiho, going gas first in a factory like this. He's getting the command center down, but his factory, it's not that far behind, actually, Bunny's timing. I like this. GuMiho always has such a unique approach, not just to, you know, the early game and the build game strategies, but also how he gets there with his opening builds. They're a lot of fun. He's one of my favorite players to watch for that reason. Kind of reminds me of watching SOS's games a little bit, way back in the day. Just never know what you're going to expect with GuMiho.
So we've had, over the last couple of years, some very, very short TVTs. I've always been amazed at how it feels like sometimes this matchup's getting shorter and shorter. But, you know, Terran, in this matchup, compared to like other mirror matchups, not just in StarCraft 2, but in other games in general, I do feel like StarCraft 2 TVT, man, you got a lot of different moving parts early on. There's a lot of different things you can tech into, and they're all very strong, and they all can be tricky to counter. You know, when you think about, okay, I could get Reapers or Hellions or tanks or Banshees. By the way, this Reaper's going to be shot down over here in the main. But you can get there's so many different combinations of units you can get early on. With Medivacs, without Medivacs. That I think it makes for one of the most complex early mid games there is in RTS.
It's definitely the most technical early game matchup. I mean, just thinking back to the games we cast yesterday. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold that thought, actually. Bunny's going to poke up here with 2 Hellions. I'm a little bit surprised at this and only 1 Reaper. He's able to pick up that Hellion. What a nice move there from Bunny. That was ambitious. You know, you throw 2 Reapers in the main base like that and lose them for basically nothing, and then you have a follow-up like this.
Okay, so we have 1 Banshee being produced right now from GuMiho. We have the Tech Lab about to finish. We're going to see if Bunny's going to go into his own Banshee. No, it's going to be a Raven, so very, very different approaches here.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be more of a timing attack-oriented opening coming out from
Whenever
Bunny.
I see a Raven being made, I think, okay, there's going to be a push later. You know, the Raven kind of allows you, it's a bit of like a Swiss Army knife unit for creating different situations that can be advantageous to you. You can do something like run into their main and throw auto turrets down and then push and attack in there. You can do the debuff on the armor, obviously. Disabling tanks is always handy. So I always feel like, you know, Raven is more of like a stability play that's going to allow you to have a little bit more control in the mid game. Where if you go for like a Banshee as an example, you're going to try to kill off a couple SCVs. Maybe create a pin where they can't leave their base.
Got a second factory going down, Tasteless.
Well,
GuMiho going mech.
You know, it's funny.
I guess command center.
We hadn't really talked about the fact that he goes for mech more than anybody else in StarCraft 2. Still makes it work. And the funny thing with GuMiho is like he's got such a range of play. You don't even know what kind of mech style it's going to be. It looks like this one's going to be the more active style, getting lots and lots of Cyclones here.
Maybe. I mean, he did open with 2 Cyclones, but he's already going into siege tank production. I think one of them just finished right now in the main base. The second one got queued up. So we'll have to see exactly how he is going to navigate his composition here in the early game. 3rd factory getting started, too. I'm curious because he can pump out a lot of siege tanks, but I would be surprised if he didn't mix in more cyclones too. You know, I mean, it's just GuMiho's bread and butter. That cyclone so strong in the
Wait,
current
Bunny's
iteration
getting a
of the
second
game.
factory too?
Wait, is he? Is this gonna be? This is 2 more factories. We have mech versus mech.
Yeah, you know what's funny? We never really cast mech versus mech. We have like one guy playing standard and then the other guy's going mech. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how this interaction works. And of course, what kind of mech is it going to be? I mean, are they both going to go for cyclones? That's going to look kind of funny when they fight.
Bunny's the one going for cyclones, and GuMiho's the one going for siege tanks. It seems like.
Yeah, and if I had covered up the IDs, I would have actually switched the players. I would have been
sure.
like, oh, for sure, that's GuMiho going for the cyclones.
Very interesting. Now, keep in mind, Bunny does have these 2 Ravens with Interference Matrix, and he's going for Cyclones, which are a very mobile composition. GuMiho's going to have to cover a lot of territory once he takes this 3rd base. He's going to have a tank spread, even here on Ultra Love, between the natural expansion, between the 3rd base. He's probably going to need some static defense just in the case of there potentially being some drops in the main. And with Ravens, plus the mobility of the Cyclones and a couple of siege tanks to boot, if Bunny just collapses on one location, he might be able to basically set up a contain here on GuMiho.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you got one guy going tanks, the other guy already has a decent amount of Ravens.
Disappears from the map.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is actually a double expand? I feel like I've never seen the rhythm of a TVT like the one I'm looking at from GuMiho's side of the map. You know what I'm saying?
He's spreading himself quite thin.
I feel like this is going to be impossible to hold when this attack comes out.
I mean, Ultra Love is one of the better defensive maps here on 3 or 4 bases just because you have the high ground, but even then, taking 4 bases
4
like
CCs.
this. It's 6 siege tanks right now. The 7th one just popped here for GuMiho, but remember, we have Interference Matrix. Air superiority in the favor of Bunny right now. He's going to pop in here to the 3rd base, instantly disables the front 2 tanks. There is one more in the back that also is going to get disabled. SCV is getting pulled. Vikings for Bunny quickly cleaning up the Vikings there of GuMiho. In this position, just got rampaged, man.
I mean, it just got completely smashed. We have Vikings now landing. I mean, I think he can just go right up into the main, right? I think you can actually ignore the expansions and just keep pushing. There's like 1 tank here, and everything else that he could possibly have is just running up. Oh, sorry, there's a 2nd tank actually there as well, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, this is a lot of damage. The Vikings can land right on top of this tank, or not.
I think just secure the air superiority right now. This is a tough spot for GuMiho.
I mean, I think GuMiho's dead. I don't think he could. Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Speed running through this TVT here. You know, the 4th base, I was shocked when I saw that go down.
yeah,
Maybe you know, the truth is I'm a little bit out of my element. You know, we had such a long break with StarCraft 2 here for GSL, but I'm not used to seeing TVTs where you grow that fast on the map.
No. I feel like that might have been some kind of a metagame might be wrong because I don't even know how many mech versus mech games we have in the Korean TVT meta right now. But I think when GuMiho, I believe he scanned and he saw those extra factories going down for Bunny, and he just assumed that Bunny would also be playing a slower style. He didn't anticipate double Raven plus like this hybrid of battle mech supported by siege tanks just breaking through the 3rd. I mean, even if he didn't take the 4th command center, I'm not sure if he holds that, but certainly with the 4th CC, that is just a little bit spread too thin. Bunny was able to finally just move across the map on his 2 command center push and catapults himself into a game number 3. So we're already going to Takamuk. We have been live for 20 minutes, and this series is already in game 3. It is crazy. GuMiho versus Bunny, map number 3. Let's go.
Okay, GuMiho top right, Bunny bottom left. Crazy TVTs today. By the way, that wasn't... How many factories did Bunny have when the push came out? Was it 3 or was it 2?
I want to say it was, well, he at least had 3. I think it was probably just 3.
And how many barracks did he have? Did he have 2 or did he have 1?
I have no idea. I didn't know there was going to be a pop quiz. I wasn't paying attention.
No, sorry. And what's 48 plus 57? Let's keep... no, I just like... I was like... It was such a weird-looking game, and things kind of happened so quickly. I'm I would almost wouldn't mind like going back and looking at the replay and being like, okay, so what exactly did he do? Because we never had mech versus mech really.
Yeah, I think it was just 3 really fast factories there for Bunny, and then he was investing, keep in mind, a lot of money into the starport. He had, what, 2 Ravens, and then I almost feel like he was reactoring out Vikings with how many he had, although it's possible that he didn't actually change those add-ons.
I think he did. I think he did. I think he got the Ravens. By the way, the Ravens won that for him.
Yeah, Ravens.
I mean, the Ravens with disable, it's like, oh, yeah, then you're just going to, you know, literally I'm going to take out 4 tanks. They get 0 value, you know.
I love the Raven unit design for TVT specifically. I feel like it just makes the matchup so dynamic.
So we got the scouting SCV coming in here now. So Bunny is making a command center here on the low ground, as is GuMiho.
Yeah, mirrored builds, both going gas first expand.
We're going to wait to see where the build order deviation is and you know, what's going to come from that. Factory starting here. Let's see, do we have a factory as well for GuMiho?
And GuMiho prioritizing the minerals a little bit more, whereas Bunny saturated that gas right away, basically. So here's a tempo ahead here on the factory. And GuMiho actually queuing up another Reaper, too. If we have a 3rd Reaper and Bunny goes for this add-on, I'm wondering how much can actually get done. Right, GuMiho now, he wants to snipe this SCV. I think he's going to get it. This is a funny little dance.
Okay, he's going to be able to kill this SCV that's making the CC.
Yeah. 2nd Reaper's moving across the map right now. Oh, man, he's not going to be able to escape with this Reaper, though. Now, the Reaper for Bunny, very low on HP. If GuMiho just dives right now, there's a chance he can catch it, but...
Wow, 3rd command center. Let's see if there's going to be anything like that here. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, the Reaper regens, but not that fast. Okay, he doesn't end up denying the SCV. And yeah, the Hellion will always beat the Reaper, so he's going to have to
I forgot Bunny's
run.
factory was actually so fast. Ooh. Oh, he's juking him. Look at this.
Well, you might as well, right? You're not going to get any value from this Reaper. You know, if you try to keep it alive, I mean. So he's going to come in here, slowly get executed. I don't think he can kill any SCVs or anything.
No, but he got a full scout off. And that's really good if you're going 3 command centers like this here for GuMiho, because the odds are that Bunny, just being on the faster tech up with only 2 command centers, is probably going to be trying to throw some aggression at GuMiho here. And the sooner that GuMiho can kind of glean what flavor of attack that's going to be, the better his odds of actually surviving it without taking too much damage. So I do really like the follow-up Reaper there. And again for Bunny, it's going to be really fast Ravens. I'm imagining at least 2 here with Interference Matrix.
So, you know, once again, you know, with the Raven tech here from Bunny, I think if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? I want to see if we get any kind of insane expanding again here from GuMiho. I'm still really interested in that 4th base with the tanks. It seems like if you see that they've got Ravens, you just can't do that. Maybe you could hide a base. Seems like hiding bases has not been like that popular in StarCraft 2 as of late. It does feel like sometimes hidden bases are a trend in certain periods of an RTS game. But yeah, I think if you were going to take a 4th like he did in the last game, you'd have to like hide it or, you know, do something kind of crazy.
Reaper spots the 3rd command center here for GuMiho.
Yeah. Now, is there a way you can punish this? I'm not so sure.
I think it's just going to be a very similar push.
Yeah.
Another factory coming in. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So let's watch and see if he actually does swap that off. The scan here is going to be
great.
He sees exactly what's happening here. So, you know, if GuMiho was blindsided in Game 2, he at least knows this is coming in Game 3.
Yeah, I think he even saw the 2nd factory there on the ramp. So certainly, GuMiho knows what's coming. Couple add-on switches here for GuMiho. Is he going to pump out some more Vikings? He will. So this game, GuMiho going to be looking to have air superiority here, and hopefully we'll shut down those Ravens. Those Ravens already have Interference Matrix. Bunny made a lot of Hellions, by the way. 6 Hellions in total. Some of them just got traded out. And now he's moving across very early with an initial Cyclone and with a Raven with Interference Matrix. Actually, just going to drop down the auto turrets. There's a chance he can chase this Siege Tank down with the Hellions and the turrets. This is a funny interaction. Landed Vikings fighting auto turrets.
Yeah,
and
it's
Hellions.
like, well, I finally get to cast a landed Viking fighting a Hellion. All right, that was in my things I have not casted yet list in StarCraft 2 here. So, look, I mean, the attack kind of falls flat on its face. You're fine trading if you can get that 3rd command center up and running, right? You're going to just have more money pouring in. eBay starting here as well.
And those Ravens also be a little bit lower energy here for Bunny. And for GuMiho on his side of things, he's also just going mech. He's adding in the third factory right now. He's pumping out siege tanks 2 at a time. And all these siege tanks plus the high Viking count that he's going for, there's a chance that the Raven play isn't going to be as impactful here in game number 3 as it was in game number 2, just because GuMiho will be the one with air superiority if it continues to pump the gas on this Viking production. Right now I'm thinking it's 5-3. So he's 1 full production cycle ahead in terms of air. And Bunny, still no third command center. He is hard committing to this push.
Okay, there's a tank placed on the other side of the rocks, driving this away. He's kept everything back. Now, again, with Ravens being able to disable the tanks, you're going to need more than just a couple siege tanks kind of loosely holding this position together. He's going to come in now. Now, there are Vikings. Can he try to, like, maybe... Okay, no, he does not actually get the snipe off.
Takes down the Raven before he can get a second interference matrix, though, and that means that these tanks on the backline are going to do some really good work, even repairing the Vikings. He lands them to dodge the shots and repairs the Vikings and then lifts them back up. I love that move from GuMiho. Look at this. He's going to win the air war because of that.
Yeah, he's just got these SCVs frantically
what a
repairing
sick
them.
move.
Tank oversteps, takes some damage. Now, there's one tank that's in range of the command center, so Bunny has to figure out how to get a tank in there and start to hit that tank.
All right. This command center getting lower and lower on HP right now. Viking count's very even for both players.
Hellions over here on the side.
Bunny is looking to find an angle into the natural expansion with those Hellions. GuMiho sequestering most of its forces over here on this third base side, but there is a little bit of a timer. There's a second siege tank now hitting this command center at the third base. Space actually losing minerals right now because it has to get repaired the entire time.
It's kind of crazy. He's making a 4th command center back at home while he's being pushed.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Dude, GuMiho is a madman.
I was gonna say
he's down 30 army supplied.
He's like, I need another base.
I mean, Bunny behind this is also expanding, so it looks like he's setting his eyes on just establishing a contain here and preventing this third base from landing.
I think that basically what Bunny's doing is a lot better than what GuMiho is doing. This succeeded, by the way. The command center's been forced to lift off, so it's no longer an expansion that he can take advantage of. The very late third expansion for Bunny is finishing, but you can see, why he invested in so much infrastructure to start a push like this.
And word count is significantly higher for GuMiho, so once he lands that 4th base, and if he can actually secure this 3rd again.
And you know what's funny? They're not in range of that tank, but the SUVs that go by the tank are in range, and so the splash damage is actually rubbing off on that tank. So he's going to go up here and take 12 o'clock. And what is it, 1 Raven? So he doesn't have enough disables to just march through there and go for the kill.
No, GuMiho did a good job of shutting that down earlier on. The Viking count is very important.
Yeah.
In a situation like this one, because the player that loses air superiority, if there's another skirmish in the skies and one of them just completely gets swept up by the Vikings and someone just completely dominates the air, then suddenly, because the siege tank can shoot a lot farther than it can see, one player's just going to be bleeding scans the entire time. But as it is right now, it's very even on the air. 11-10 Vikings. That command center almost got taken down, 240 HP.
I think if he waited and did just one more round of shots, I think he might have actually gotten it. So right now, Bunny's going to stay very fluid on the map. He's going to relocate and try to push into this other base up here at 12 o'clock. And he's got a lot of tanks.
GuMiho with his Cyclone's able to spot this. And oh man, Bunny's just full sending it. Disable on the initial siege tank. You're not able to disable the second one, but these siege tanks, there's just so many of them here for Bunny. He's entrenched this position already.
Oh my God.
The Viking battle going incredibly in Bunny's favor. Look at how low on HP all these Vikings are, just barely surviving. And now GuMiho's gonna have to lift up another command center. I think Bunny's just got this. What an awesome push. This Cyclone siege tank push with 2 Ravens and a ton of Vikings is just so powerful.
GG, that's it. Again, I'm still surprised by that 4th command center. Like, while you're being pushed.
Yeah, he's brave.
I mean, Bunny's third base was so late. It was so clear that everything that he's doing is hinged on just getting in there and smashing that base. I'm stunned. Hey, but Bunny played better. I especially like game 1 back there, by the way. That was a lot of fun.
It's a fun series. It was over really quick, but GuMiho maybe just a little bit too ambitious on the eco there. I like some of the moves that he made earlier on, too, especially with the Viking control. GuMiho definitely had his moments in that map, but Bunny just had a little bit too much. He's going to be advancing to the winners match. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we're going to find out who is going to join him between SHIN and ByuN. Don't go anywhere.
Well, it may seem ridiculous to you the way I do the things I do. So very sorry, friend, you got no box to put me in. And a tiger just can't go and change its stripes. I fooled you once, I fooled you twice, and I'ma do it again. Can't keep a fox out of chicken pen. I'm a man who needs to go my own way, baby. So don't you go and try to change me, yeah. Tell me you can't, and you know I will. Tell me don't go and I'll keep moving. Baby, tell me I can't, and you know I will. You can tell me to stop, then I'll keep grooving. Say, woman, you know it is what it is. I got my own beat that I'm marching in, and I can't be tied down. I got eyes that like to look around. And I'm a man who needs to go my own way, baby. So don't you go and try to change me. Tell me I can't, and you know I will. Tell me don't go and I'll keep moving. Baby, tell me I can't, and you know I will. You can tell me to stop, but I'll keep grooving.
Yeah.
got the guitars going here.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for waiting. TVZ time. Our only Zerg player, SHIN, coming back looking great at DreamHack. Let's see how he does against ByuN. I think ByuN's been in really good form, by the way. He looked really strong last season. We didn't have SHIN last season of GSL, so I'm
how
curious.
insane is that, by the way, that SHIN didn't qualify for GSL Code S last season, and then he goes to DreamHack, and he beats, like, he goes on a rampage and makes his way to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so... It feels really hectic right now. The same thing for Cure, you know, be the first player eliminated from Group A after almost winning GSL Season 1.
Yeah.
I think just things are moving at such a fast pace. There's so much traveling that's taking place right now. Things are chaotic. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a marathon, man. EWC is just around the corner.
It's a roller coaster. You just never know what to expect on any given day with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's getting their matches in, hungry to get to that insane prize pool in Riyadh. Yeah, I think this should be, I guess I have to say this is going to be SHIN favored, right? Just looking at how well he performed.
I would think so. But again, like, you have a good performance like something at DreamHack, and you know that all these Terran players are analyzing the games that you just played, and some of them might have some new ideas that you haven't been tested against in the past with the builds that you've been developing, right? So it's hard to say. I always feel a little bit for the Zerg in a situation like this one where you're going up against 3 Terrans, because they're all going to be watching all of your matches. They're going to be very well prepared for you. And here for SHIN coming into this one, you can play reactive, but the onus is going to be on him a little bit to have some range here going up against potentially 3 different Terran opponents. So I'm really curious what he's going to bring to the table. And he's looking to be in really good spirits, by the way.
SHIN's just got a big grin on his face, man.
Yeah, they're joking about something.
All right, guys, we're going to hop into game number 1 here. SHIN versus ByuN coming up right now. Okay, SHIN in the bottom left, ByuN in the top right. TVZ, we were talking about how TVT feels like it's just become a little bit of a shorter, more explosive matchup. It does feel like for TVZ, we're no longer in the meta, in current patch state of the game, where it is the split map game that we saw Maro, maybe the best Terran in the world at that.
Yeah.
The kind of exhaust play, like I'm just going to let the Zerg mine out their side of the map, but I'm going to have that one base that I take at the end. It might be a 35 or even 40-minute game.
Command center first, by the way, for ByuN. This is cool.
Yeah, I like that. I love the StarCraft's drawing here, too.
That's a really good drawing, too. It looks like original artwork, man. That is legit. How is it that every GSL, the audience just makes these, like, beautiful drawings? I am constantly impressed. I have no artistic skills.
I have no. Look at that. It's a little Pepe. Young and tasteless.
It's an adorable little frog.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the sign. Yeah, no, there's a lot of great cheerfuls in the audience. So good to have you guys down here. We had a couple seasons. I guess some of this was COVID, where we couldn't have an audience. Do you know how weird this place was when we were like casting in here to an empty?
It was just
it's like such a weird. I'm like, all right, I gotta go to an empty high school gymnasium and cast StarCraft in this big empty space. It's nice to see people coming down here and enjoying the games.
Yeah, it was a strange time to be alive. I remember also, like, I'm a big baseball fan. I remember watching like MLB games, and they're playing in these stadiums, and to make it less weird, some of the stadiums would just put like cardboard cutouts of fans, and that just made it even more like uncanny valley.
Yeah, that was a weird solution to like.
Oh yeah, it was.
To what's going on, but yeah,
it was a unique time that we all lived through. I'm glad we're through it
once
now.
Once the stupid pandemic was done, I'm like, oh, thank God, things are kind of back to normal now.
But yeah,
okay, so
it is good to have Rubu back in the studio.
Yeah, 100%. So this is Command Center first, and it will go unpunished. Command Center first was it like 2 years ago that was like everybody was doing it.
Command Center first. Usually I think at the 3cc, and they would just make like 8 racks and just go kill them.
Yeah.
That was a fun meta.
There was also a period where it was Command Center first into like this 2-base timing, but it seems like that doesn't work as much anymore. It's interesting, by the way, the layers of greed that get built on top of a meta over time. Like, I remember, this is like a way back, pre-StarCraft 2. I remember playing StarCraft 1, and there was a super famous Russian player called Asmodee. And I remember, like, you know, back then they didn't even have replays, so if you could just even get inside somebody's game, it was a big deal, right? Just spec up. And I remember watching him go command center first, and I'm like, no, this can't be. You know what I mean? I'm like, that can't be the way that he's playing. He did it like 3 games in a row, and I'm like, this is insane. But yeah, I mean, if someone's going to play kind of a middle of the road, like, I'm not going to die to rushes, but I'm not going to attack you right away, and I'm going to eventually fast expand. And the other guy just makes a command center nakedly. And he's just, that guy's way ahead. That guy's just infinitely ahead. He cut all the corners, and as long as he doesn't die to the rush, he's going to have a lead.
Yeah, we're not going to have any ZVZs today, obviously, because Shin's the only guy here playing Zerg in Group B. But ZVZ, I talked to a lot of pro players, and they say that's one of the hardest things, too, is just to play like a standard macro game, because you don't know if someone's going to go for it all in. You don't know if they're going to be really greedy, like the Zerg version of like a command center first. It's always fun going into like the game theory a little bit of how these people decide they're going to construct their builds over the course of a series. By the way, Shin getting pretty aggressive early on right now. 7 roaches. We'll see if he continues to build more, or if this is just for him to try and deal with these Hellions. But if it's just for the Hellions, it feels like it might be a little bit overkill. Yeah, 11 roaches, so that's going to be a good amount. Unluckily for Shin, ByuN is also going into Banshees. And roaches don't shoot up.
You don't say. These roaches are going to be moving out now. As the Banshee's going around, Hellions still darting around the map.
They're going to catch the roaches, too.
Yep.
Oh, man, if the Banshees, we'll see if the first Banshee, I'm trying to find where it is on the mini-map. Second Banshee is in production, about a third of the way done. Yeah, he immediately tags it on the roaches. This is going to do a really good job of shutting down the aggression. But those roaches are also now out of position because Shin was hoping to be aggressive. These Hellions, they're going to send it into the natural expansion. One of them does get caught by a drone and a queen, but 4 more Hellions. How good's the drone micro going to be here for Shin? So far, 4 drones going down. 1 Hellion on a very low HP, not getting focus fire down. Shin just trying to pull the boys instead, running the drones away. So far, pretty good control from Shin, only losing 6 drones to all of those Hellions getting into the natural expansion. He's going to get some counter damage himself done. There is a Banshee here in the natural of ByuN, so there is going to be a timer on these roaches, but hey, a little bit of tit for tat, getting 3 SCVs, maybe even going to get a 4th one here in the wall in, disrupting the build of ByuN a little bit as he's trying to wall in. I would say well handled for Shin. It looked like him being out of position was going to lead to a much more catastrophic situation, but that was well controlled.
I thought there was going to be way more drones killed, like when I saw the Hellions coming in there. But yeah, he did a very good job. I think he could have lost even less if he hadn't had those like 4 that were shot on the ramp. The Banshees are now inbound here. There's spores set up. And it's going to be hard for either player to really do any kind of full-on attack to each other. There is a 3rd command center started here, so Terran's not interested in ending this anytime soon. He wants to basically build this out to a much longer, later push.
Yeah, these Banshees would be fantastic at exerting map control. Especially losing that early queen there for Shin. That's a very expensive early in loss. And oh, look at this, Tasteless. ByuN is already moving out on the map with Stim. I think he realizes that these Banshees can just kind of ward away all of the queens, and he could walk right onto the creep and potentially apply some pressure to this 3rd base.
Yeah, I was completely wrong. I was saying he's like going to not attack at all. Here he is. No medevac here. It's just Marines, a tank, and 2 Banshees. And I'm not sure that Zerg's got enough. He's stimming. Remember, there's no heal. So, like, any damage, I mean, it is kind of permanent. I think, actually, like, Terran just barely has enough.
I think so. The drones are getting pulled. Shin does not want to lose that 3rd hatchery. Oh man, the drones are just getting mowed down right now by these Marines. The siege tank actually took a really good job of absorbing the damage.
What?
And ByuN just decapitating the economy of Shin. 12 drones down. The 3rd base is going to fall. What a fantastically timed push.
This is so crazy. Those Marines just won't die. Combat shield is done, by the way. The hatchery goes down.
Medevac's also joining in.
Yeah, and so now he gets that heal up. I've never quite seen a push like that.
Yeah.
I've never quite seen, it was like 9 Marines and a Banshee and a tank. And, you know, a lot of times when you see that many queens, you're like, well, that probably holds that, right? Well, apparently not. And I think we're probably going to see GG. I don't think there's enough roaches. He can basically kite this all day.
I mean, Shin right now, he's supply block because he keeps losing overlords also to these Marines, and Roach is very supply intensive. He just can't produce the units that he needs. Marines stimming 4+1 is done. GG is called. That was well played by ByuN. That was an exciting build. I think nobody was expecting him to push across the map that quickly, but I mean, what keen game sense to identify with those Banshees. Like, you know what? I killed a Queen. He has nothing. SHIN has nothing that can test these Banshees away from the Spore Crawlers because of Cloak. I'm just going to use this map control, walk all the way up to the third base, and just sever all this extra income coming in. And then SHIN, he still had, what, 60-plus drones? The fourth base, down by the 6 o'clock position, it finally got online, and ByuN just very quickly pivots right over, takes that one down too.
This is in line with our theme today. Don't take a fourth base.
Yeah.
He who takes the first fourth base will lose the game. Very cool push there by ByuN. Never quite seen an attack like that, kind of pre-medevac push, basically stimming and just kind of playing the keep away game. Chipped away enough damage that he actually killed the Queens and the Hatch. Anyways, guys, game 2's ready. Let's go. Okay, in the bottom left here, we've got SHIN. Top right is ByuN. And yeah, let's see if it's CC first again or not. I guess it's really important we go back. We're talking about that push and how crazy it was. That is a lot of that kind of hinged on the fact that the command center first got away. You would not have had a game where like you're going to get gas and tech and then get a command center on the low ground and then push like that, because you shouldn't have enough.
Yeah, it was a cool build from ByuN.
Yeah, ByuN is looking just very, very strong here. Always, some of the best control in the game.
Especially early game.
Yeah.
He just can get so much value out of these very small armies. It feels like that is really his forte.
I've always felt like one of ByuN's weaknesses actually was like, he's like super strong early game, but then I don't think he has the kind of late game kind of colossal macro approach like Maru does, as an example. Like Maru, it's almost like just this like super machine that can crank out stuff and grow at a rate that's hard for the human mind to comprehend. But ByuN's always been like this guy that comes in and gets a couple good jabs, gets a couple good stabs in there, and starts the opponent bleeding. And a lot of times just manages to take him down.
Yeah, and I wonder, I don't think that's a skill thing either. I think it's just that ByuN is playing to his strengths, and so he usually focuses on strategies that are really going to hit their power spike in the early game or the mid game, because that is where ByuN is the most deadly. And so if it doesn't work and the opponent's able to survive, potentially even with the lead, then ByuN kind of limps into the late game, maybe not in the best position. I'd be curious to see ByuN try to play like a really intense Maru-esque macro game, with a little bit less flair in the early game, but at the same time, it is such a treat, even in this day and age of StarCraft 2. I think one of the things that I've always enjoyed the most about this game was, like, everybody, there's 3 races, all the races have the same units, obviously, like every Zerg is the same, they got the same tools in the bag, but stylistically, the difference between player to player to player, especially at the pro level, it just adds so much depth to the game, because everyone identifies, wait, I'm a little bit better when I do this than I do this, and everyone just kind of carves their own path. And for a long time in StarCraft 2's history, it felt to me like Protoss players were probably the most stylistic. But over time, as the game evolved, it feels like everybody's like this in a way. By the way, Marine's coming out really early here for ByuN with an SCV. Is this going to be a bunker rush?
Is that Slayer's Boxer?
This is so cool. But the thing is, SHIN sees all of this.
Yeah, the bunker's in a cool spot, too.
The Queens are getting pulled. 14 Lings in production right now. 6 already on the map.
Now, wait, these Queens are just going to kill this, right? The bunker can't finish in time, right?
I think so. If there's really good RNG, no, even with good RNG, there's no way this bunker's going to get up. It's pretty close, but that SCV, the Queen's going to snipe it down.
Completely shut down.
I like the play, though.
Yeah,
cool. Maybe he's able to get a Queen or 2 out of this. We'll see.
Well, the Lings should kill this, right?
Come on, get that Queen, ByuN. Oh, 13 HP. Oh, and there's Hellions joining. I didn't even see that.
I kind of thought this attack was over.
Yeah, I was just tunnel visioning on the Marine micro. I was like, man, ByuN, you're really good. Look at those Hellions, just line him up for him. These slow Lings taking a lot of damage. What a creative approach. Third command center now coming in for ByuN. 4 Hellions, 2 of them very badly wounded. Is he going to dive this? Those Lings, they are very low on HP. 2 or 3 more volleys if they're well lined up. Candace clear these things out. Indeed, they will. More Lings are in production, about to pop. Metabolic boost almost done. So far, only 1 drone falling.
This is a real one-of-a-kind early game TVZ. It feels like, though, Shin's like basically taking care of this, right? You don't care how many Lings you lose as long as you clear the Marines. So I feel like Shin's going to be in a pretty substantial lead now, which means it's going to be a lot harder for ByuN to kind of come out with any kind of real aggression that can dominate here. That was the 3rd command center that was on camera. Okay, so he's going to go for 3 CCs. So yeah, he's basically going to back out of any kind of aggression in the mid game here and try to instead power up onto 3 bases.
Additional barracks now coming in. Stim only just now starting because he did, of course, prioritize the Marine production over getting a Tech Lab and Stim Pack earlier on.
Double eBay as well. So all signs point to a quiet mid game. But one where he's going to push out later. Now, we don't know what kind of game Shin's going to play here. A lot of this phase of the game, Zerk's just sort of reacting. Overlord Scout's not going to see anything, by the way.
I think it might have glimpsed the Banshee. It's hard to tell. It was very, very close. If it didn't glimpse it, it just barely missed it. But in any case, Shin seems like he's well prepared to deal with any Banshee follow-up to this. Already got a Spore Crawler here at the 3rd base. These Hellions going to poke in. Actually, really nice lineup. Able to get 3 drones, but they're going to get cornered here, aren't they?
Yeah, they can't get anywhere. Full surround. And 2 Banshees, you know, they haven't really cleared that much. We got a lot more drones coming. We have a Roach Horn as well. Double Evo here, too. So, I mean, Shin's going to be able to take a 4th base, and I don't think he's going to be contested. I think he's going to go up to 5 or even 6 bases for the Zerk before the Terran can really come out and do anything. You can see he tries to land that command center, and Shin's being smart. He's not going to let him do that without at least making ByuN assert himself on the map.
Roaches and Roach speed starting now for Shin.
The longer that command center's in the air, not making SCVs, not landing mules, not having resources returned to it, the worse it's going to be.
And those Banshees finally shooing away the Ling so that the Marines and Siege Tank can garrison over here. This will be a nice economic spike for ByuN. 1-1, about halfway complete here for the Terran as it's just starting now for Zerg. Shin is really active with these Lings. I like it. An Infestation Pit coming in very quickly. This is something that Shin has been liking to do. Fast Infestation Pit, fast hive, usually on the back of Roach Ravager, although in this game, we had kind of a unique early game setup coming in from ByuN, so a little bit more heavy on the Lings here for Shin, but still trending in that general direction. Actually, a Hydralisk Den too. Now, Shin over at DreamHack Dallas had some of the best fungals I have seen versus Terran in a very long time. His spellcaster control has really been exciting. I'm hoping we get to see a glimpse of that here with this Hydralisk Den coming in and Roaches and Ravagers already on the field. We'll have to see if he decides to produce them. Right now, a little bit low on the gas is Shin, so can't quite afford it. 1-1 just now finishing here for ByuN as he's posturing, but...
He's gonna, is he gonna counterattack? I thought he was gonna try to snipe the tank from behind. He's gonna go around.
Yeah.
So this is just shift-clicked over here.
I was also thinking this might just be a surround, but...
I feel like he shouldn't have actually even ran out at that. I'm like, I think those Lings can win that fight. So, you know, Zerk's continuing to grow on the map. The Banshees haven't really done that much. This is definitely looking like a stronger game here from Shin.
Yeah, Shin's playing really well so far. ByuN's been throwing him some curveballs, but Shin's early game defense has been really solid. With the one exception of that awkwardly timed push that ByuN did with no medevacs and just the early Marines and Siege Tank that caught Shin off guard. Besides that, Shin has just been on point. And it is going to be Infestors. 2 Infestors get queued up. Hydralisk production also starting. This is going to be a really powerful range composition coming in from Shin. Roaches and Ravagers and Hydralisks soon to have 1-1 upgrades. Actually, 1-1 upgrades already done here for Shin.
Okay, he's going to push in again. Corrosive Vials are going to force a relocation. He wants those Corrosive Vials to hit the tanks and siege mode if he can, so it's extremely important that the Marines create distance between the Ravagers and the tanks. Shin's going to come in again. Not a bad dodge, actually.
I love those Vials, though, just zoning away the Marines a little bit, providing a little bit more time for these Infestors to gather energy off screen. More Vials. These Stim Marines, they're taking a lot of damage right now, even just from the step back. Oh, the bungle is huge! Shin does it again! The Marines get cleaned up! Luckily, a lot of them able to escape in the medevacs, but Shin just continues to land magic fungals here in GSL. That is so sick, man. He has not lost a touch to this DreamHack at all.
You know, it's funny, that fight, it was like, it could go either way, it could go either way, and then suddenly SHIN just completely wiped it. That fungal was, I think it could not have been optimized more.
He's been doing
Like,
this for weeks, man.
Yeah,
it has been so solid.
The surface area was like literally perfect. Like it got every single Marine inside that clump. And now we got a counter push here. We got another, oh, never mind. The Infestor is shot down. Unfortunately, you do not want to lead with that. He's gonna keep trying to push. Does he actually have enough here?
Man, that's a lot of Roaches, Ravagers, and Hydras. The Marine's going to retreat. It's even upgrades, too, so the Marine's actually not getting a lot of damage done on these Roaches. The front line, oh, it is sparse here for ByuN.
Yeah, Factory on the outside here with 2 Widow Mines making. 2-2 is about to finish, but a decent number of these Marines are going to be killed off here. Looks like he's got enough. He can dive in. Hydras are terrible when they're running away off of creep.
I can notice as soon as that Roach count in the front line dissipates here.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have enough for a fungal? I think barely shy. Yeah, 69 energy right now on the Infestor.
Nice. So we are on a 5-base game right now from Zerg. Zerg is teching into Lurkers as well. And there's going to be some pretty strong pushes. I don't know that there is room for another push here from ByuN, but he might just go for it anyways.
Yeah, got to be very careful here, though, is ByuN. I don't know how many Infestors we have on the field right now, but SHIN has just been so on point with his fungals. And when you're playing this kind of style that ByuN is, if SHIN gets a good fungal off, and you are not able to quickly escape into the medevacs, as soon as that fungal dissipates, those units are dead to rights, and you are not going to be trading cost efficiently. And with such a powerful composition that SHIN is running, momentum is a really big thing here in this matchup. And ByuN actually coming into the natural expansion right now, he could get a Hydro stand. Maybe with these upgrades, 2-2 is not yet done.
God, yeah, it's like this really crucial tech
wow.
is just right here. This actually may cost SHIN the game.
This is huge. SHIN out of position. He's trying to defend the 4th base. He just vacated the 4th base with most of his army to try and defend the natural. You can see on the mini-map, they're just now getting to the junction between the natural and the 3rd base. That means that there isn't enough defenders here. At the 3rd for SHIN, he's going to retreat. This hatchery might even be going down. Wow, in one fell swoop, ByuN taking down the 2-2 upgrades, hitting before the Lurkers get their upgrades, taking down this hatchery all the way to the 5 o'clock.
He's just going to kill every single thing that matters for SHIN right now.
He's
literally just gotten 3 hatcheries. I'm sorry, 2 hatcheries, all the tech, and he could very well take this one out.
I mean,
I think we're about to just see him win the game.
SHIN just got so out-positioned in one fell swoop. ByuN just completely destroyed so much key infrastructure here for his Zerg opponent. And that just turned the game on its head. Look at the minimap. I mean, SHIN can't even afford to rebuild the natural expansion of the 4th base. He needs to pump units right now to survive this push. And keep in mind, there's only, what, 4 Vespene Geysers SHIN can even gather from right now because he lost those extra bases too. So the units that he can make right now, it's mostly just Roaches. He's adding in Lings and Infestors. That's how he's deciding to separate the minerals and the gas. Not an ideal situation. That fungal pretty good. Going to catch a couple of these Marauders here on the front line, but ByuN just with so much momentum now in game number 2. Scans, see these Lurkers. Great spread there from ByuN, mitigating the splash damage, able to quickly take those things out. And SHIN is really starting to run out of steam, Tasteless. Plus 3 infantry weapons almost done.
Nice fungal, but you need at least enough units to actually then overpower those weakened infantry. GG, ByuN takes it. Dude, ByuN is looking hot today.
Wow.
That was crazy. He was like in a pretty bad position, and then in the course of like, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, killed off all the tech, killed a hatchery, and then killed another hatchery on the other side of the map. That was wild.
That was some fantastic positional play.
You know, you don't see successful split pushing from Terran that often.
I mean, that's one of the downsides of the composition SHIN was running. It just isn't that mobile. If you get blindsided like that by a double drop of the natural expansion, oh boy, it can be... Things can spiral downhill very quickly, just as we saw.
So we're going to have a TVT now, guys, to decide who's going to be getting that second to last spot in the round of 8. It's going to be ByuN versus Bunny. And I think we're going to go to that short break right now, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit.
We are the ones you left behind. Those wounds buried deep inside. We are the ones there to remind. We are the remedy, so we are the enemies. And all the steps you impossible, like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head, guess it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame excuse. And maybe it's all in my head, guess it's time for something new. I needed new friends when you didn't show. Poured out my heart, why you say oh? And I tell you something, it broke my confidence. When these thoughts are toxic, it's darkness. Only showing up when it's convenient. Why is no one here to save me? Moving pieces cross the board like it's a game. Oh, what a way to frame me. I know I shouldn't care, but I'm over being you. And maybe it's all in my head, guess it's time for something new. I'm not even famous, but all you blaming on some lame excuse. And maybe it's all in my head, guess it's time for something. This is the start of, this is the start of, this is the start of something new. This is the start, this is the start, this is the start of something new. I've been navy blue, been somebody's fool, but all I remember now is being with you. Light up every room like a super balloon. You put me together when I was broken too. Fireworks in the dark, superstar. You're all I wanna see. Oh, I just can't believe how much you got my heart. You are a shooting star. Some things make sense to me, but I still can't believe how wonderful you are. How wonderful you are. How wonderful you are. So good I don't know what to call you. I'm feeling bad for anyone who's ever lost you. Stuck on the feelings, head in the deep end. Spend all my weekends on you, beautiful.
makes sense to me, but I still can't believe how wonderful you are. Shooting star, wonderful you, shooting star. How wonderful you are, you are. Wonderful you are. How wonderful you are.
Affection, honey, healing magic, goodness from above. Affection, you gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love. It feels like sunshine the way that it warms up my cold heart. Sweet as sugar and a light that leads you through the dark. A friend to pick you up in brokenness and pain. Lord, let your love and kindness fall on us like rain. Affection, honey, healing magic, goodness from above. Affection, we gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love. Where would the world be if we offered this gift freely? Tender devotion to the weak, the poor, the kind, the needy. A helping hand you know that you can always trust. Lord, let your love and kindness grow in each of us. Affection, honey, healing magic, goodness from above. Affection, we gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love. You've got to give it away, 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 give it away. Affection, honey, healing magic, goodness from above. Affection, you gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love. Let's go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We're going to go into a TVT now to see who's actually going to make it into that round of 8 slot. This is Bunny versus ByuN. I got to say that, the TVT with Bunny and GuMiho was kind of crazy, right? Like, two very kind of almost identical games, right? It basically Raven tank pushes, crushing through with somebody that doesn't have any disables to kind of counterplay that. Didn't have any way to really kind of combat the Ravens at all. And then, of course, a crazy proxy. In some ways, I feel like ByuN might be the favorite here just because he looked so strong. Not because of any kind of strategy, so to speak, but his execution was so clean. And, you know, you got to remember TVT, like I was saying earlier today, it's kind of like the two glass cannon armies duking it out. You know, you take a critical amount of damage as a Terran player, and you'll just snowball to your death. And I don't know. I mean, ByuN just looking so hot in those games, completely on top of everything he needed to do. Perfect control. Feel like maybe he's the favorite here? Well, let's see. I'm more than fine being wrong.
I think your instinct is right. Coming into GSL Season 2, and the qualifiers actually, ByuN faced Bunny in a lower bracket qualifier bracket with only Terrans. They were the two to emerge. They had the best TVT, but ByuN did defeat Bunny 2-0. We're going to find out right now if Bunny can get his revenge or if ByuN is going to be the first player to advance out of Group B into the round of 8. Map 1 is ley lines. It is starting now. Let's get to it. Didn't quite time that right.
Yes. Yes.
That's
let's
the first
get to
time,
it.
man.
All right,
It's the first time I've fumbled it so far into this year.
You gotta have at least one fumble a show, man.
The thing is, I'm watching the game load in. I think I should be listening to the Korean cast.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
All
So,
right.
we're in this one, guys. This is who is this actually? Okay,
This
it's
is-
Bunny in the bottom left and ByuN in the top right.
Ugh,
Now,
scrappy start to this game.
so no proxies so far, but let's see what kind of games they're going to have. Now, we had the mech game before. I don't know if we're going to have mech unless it's GuMiho playing this time around, but let's see. You know, now that we're kind of back in StarCraft 2, you know, we just wrapped up Season 1. We're already here in the middle of Season 2 now. It's interesting to kind of, depending on what pairings we have in that given day, to kind of look at what the matchup looks like now.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of the coolest things about online multiplayer games is when everybody's on playing against each other the whole time, the meta and how people are approaching it, you can see it change.
No longer 12 years later. One day. Welcome back.
That's right.
Remember the Archon toilet?
Never forget the Archon toilet.
Dude, that was a great era.
That was
Terrans and Zergs won't agree, but that was the golden age of StarCraft 2.
that was
the Archon
that was
toilet.
fun. I think, you know, you want it when you're making an RTS. Just put a bunch of crazy stuff in and see what people come up with.
Squirrel
Archon toilet.
MVP for my money is still just the best GSL
That's
finals
probably
of all time.
that's probably the most iconic moment in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
I think ever. I mean, there's definitely been some crazy plays. The thing about the Archon toilet, though, was that, like, they actually had to get rid of that because it was, like, a problem fundamentally.
Yeah, it was too strong.
If
but
you make a portal that sucks everything into it, and then when they pop back out, the Archons are just on top of it, that's pretty crazy. But I'm glad we had it when it was here.
All right, so ByuN in this game actually going for 2 racks Reaper in base. This has gone unscouted, both players playing no scout up until this point. Bunny with a low ground command center. ByuN's going to be, I think, really happy with this with the 2 racks Reaper opening. And SCV is not long for this world. Second Reaper here for ByuN, about halfway across the map, as you can see on the mini-map. And I'm imagining once we have a couple more Reapers come in, there should be a breaking point where ByuN's able to get something done. For now, Bunny, just because he has a closer reinforced distance, does have a pretty good chance. Hold on. Hellion also done. Is there actually going to be a window? You know, TVT is one of these matchups that I'm not afraid to admit. This is I'm out of my elements a little bit with the analysis, but I feel like these 3 Reapers could probably get something done. Oh man, Bunny a little bit caught out by surprise. That first Reaper really low on HP. ByuN, it's a very delicate dance. You don't want to take splash damage from that Hellion. You want to have it only hit one of these Reapers. Oh man, the trade for Bunny, so good. That Hellion just stationary like a turret, kept dishing out the damage with a second Hellion joining in. That SCV did not fall, in fact. That Reaper also going to die. Oh, what a coup here in the early game for Bunny.
That Reaper looked like it was like the DeLorean going back in time. It just like jumped off the cliff and then disappeared.
Man, I really, looking at that 2 racks Reaper opening, I thought that ByuN was going to be able to get a little bit more done, but it just not did pan out that way.
Yeah, that was a pretty incredible hold there by Bunny. And I mean, certainly with the 3 Reapers, it looked like, okay, if you control this right, you should come out on top, and then get an execution on the SCV at the natural, which is just going to put you eons ahead long term. But great control there. Good fake outs by Bunny. Good baits.
Yeah, good fake outs, and also the Hellions on at least one of the shots, maybe even two, were able to get like collateral damage, splash damage on the.
So right now, look, we're like halfway through today on some level, right? It does seem like Bunny has come in with the same formula again in TVT. He's going for the Ravens. He's going for disables. Probably going for a push. The question is going to be, is ByuN prepared for that? Because I think GuMiho was just too greedy in the 2 games he lost. I mean, he was literally getting attacked, and he started a 4th command center, the float, which just it didn't look right, and it turns out it wasn't right because he was eventually toppled by the push.
And look at this setup we have coming from ByuN. This is a really interesting composition. By the way, just as you called, Tasteless, 2 more factories going down for Bunny, so
yeah.
Very similar build to Game 2 and Game 3 versus GuMiho.
I'm going to try to look at Bunny's perspective a lot here, because I want to see, is this just literally only 1 barracks the whole time?
Yeah,
it's just a
basically a mech
push. Yeah.
But ByuN's doing something different. He's got a Liberator going into the main base of Bunny, and his army is very mobile. He still has 3 Reapers with his Force, a Hellion, and 2 Cyclones. These are all very fast, and Bunny gets caught outside his natural expansion. That Cyclone instantly gets taken out. I think that siege tank barely covers the entrance to the base, so ByuN cannot skirt around.
Now the Liberator's going to get set up over here. And with the tank up there, he probably can't push in. Keep in mind, this army that's very mobile that ByuN has could be used to counterattack as well. So, you know, I like what ByuN's doing, because it's hard to push if you have like the threat of a Liberator or a Cyclone running. If you try to push out, you're never going to get to do that push that you want to do.
Yeah, and if ByuN can keep those units alive, by the way, disable this Liberator. Marines just slowly running in.
Oh my God! Move the Viking!
No,
move the Viking!
Move the Marines over there! I mean, it's still gonna go down, but now a couple Marines are gonna die. They all got log jammed in the mineral line.
And ByuN's gonna take his 3rd base.
We
know this push is coming.
We have Blue Flames coming in for Bunny, so this is a little bit of a mix-up. It's less Cyclone heavy. It's gonna be more Hellion heavy.
So he's gonna go for, like, God, it looks like it's a StarCraft 1 TVP comp. You know what I mean? It's like Tank Vulture. We got Tank Hellion here.
ByuN is basically only making Marines and tanks back at home. I'm wondering how this is going to go, because Hellions, obviously, they're very fragile units, but so are the Marines, especially when you're hitting them with Blue Flames. These kind of interactions are things that I feel like I don't usually get to see in TBT. 20 Marines right now to 7 Blue Flame Hellions. More siege tanks in production. Bunny is so prepared to intercept this drop, by the way.
Oh my God, he's got to run.
Dude, if ByuN reacted any slower, those medevacs are dead.
He would have lost so much supply for nothing. But again, you know, the medevacs, they get away. He can always drop in again later. This tank push is going to come out here. Now, the Cyclones and the Reapers are here to spot. So this may prompt the medevacs to pick up and then go right back in where they left off. And in fact, that's happening right now. So he's going to move in now. This is a timing that's going to match with Blue Flame. Now, again, it's going to be about the Ravens disabling the tanks. And, oh, man, this is, like, not a well-defended location. Here comes the drop down to the main.
Yeah, these Marines going to stim and get a lot of damage done right now. 2 siege tanks in position. They will be able to get repaired. So, actually, that just deflects this drop entirely. Oh, even the Vikings coming back. Those medevacs are going to get cleaned up. ByuN has to lift off his 3rd command center as Bunny's entrenched himself just to the west of that position. Dude, Bunny with his 2 factory or 3 factory push.
That's their Archon name.
Name. Yeah. No, but Bunny with his push has been just getting win after win so far here in the GSL. Now, I mean, this game is still far from over, but these early skirmishes just really showing the potency of this 3 factory opening. We've seen a couple of different variants, more Cyclones, this time with Hellbats. Air superiority reigning supreme right now for Bunny, able to disable these 2 siege tanks. Luckily, they were able to unsiege, so they can retreat behind the tank line. There is a bunker position too, but I mean, Bunny with the air superiority, with the greater number of siege tanks, this army is actually just so strong, Tasteless. 10 siege tanks, 10 Hellbats, all 10 Vikings. God. What do you do here?
Dude, this is the
ByuN.
build, guys. ByuN, let me tell you something. Bunny has just got the build right now.
He's
got the sauce that apparently we're all supposed to be running in TVT. By the way, this build does not have to respect anything about your position in TVT. TVT is a very positional matchup, right? I mean, it's so on its face, obviously strong. The disables, being able to push with the tanks, and having the air dominance with the Vikings. There's a counterattack coming here, but I don't think he can get in here. Now, the command center's in kind of a weird spot. Oh, my God. This never landed.
No, it can't even.
Dude.
It can't land. There's no spot to land.
Yeah, it's too big. All right, I think he's got enough SCVs. Maybe not.
It's like barely taking damage, but
Yeah. Over time, this one Marine. Oh, but the tank covers it. Imagine how much money you're spending repairing this. And I almost feel like you can't quite move it too much
there's
where
no
the
place.
SCVs
You
can't
gotta
get underneath it.
Set it to like the main base or something.
Yeah. No, he's going to lose it. He's got to stop. He's going to stop. You got to like stop and let him repair up until like halfway health and then do it.
I'm just watching the minerals for ByuN during all this, and they are not going up.
Yeah.
It's just all
It's
going
just completely draining his bank
direct
account
into
to keep
repair.
that up. Can he land it there? Yeah, I think he's got it.
But look at this air superiority. There's basically no more Marines over here in the main base of ByuN. Bunny is literally parking his Vikings over the siege tanks of ByuN in his natural expansion.
No respect. So it's kind of a funny spot. ByuN is was camping outside of that base. He's not really getting much done, and he's going to pull away. And as he's pulling away, Bunny's going to span out on the map here and take a third. Were all the SCVs killed? I saw SCVs run away from that 3 o'clock base, but I didn't see where they went. Were they all just killed off, or?
SCV accounts are still pretty even, so I think if some went down, probably not too many. And ByuN going to try coming down with a surround. It's actually a really good move. Those siege tanks, the damage is spread pretty thin across the top and the bottom side. The Hellbats also taking there on the bottom. It's a good win for ByuN, but the problem is that that's not Bunny's full army. He's been macroing at home. He has an armada ready to come to the natural expansion here at ByuN. I mean, great engagement for the Red Terra player, but I don't know how you deal with this follow-up attack that Bunny is about to throw at him.
I think that we're about to see the execution. There's just way too much for Bunny. It was funny because as he was winning that fight, ByuN was, it's you just see that the Vikings are now going to kill off all the medevacs.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
The most ill-advised
GG.
medevac path of all time. Dude, Bunny just has the build. This is crazy.
Yeah. Bunny knows he's... I'm telling you, man, this guy's got the sauce. This guy's got the formula. He knows exactly how to win TVT right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving the Raven investment early on. The tanks coming out, and then the Hellions, and then he goes into blue Hellbats basically.
It is
very cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that many Hellbats, especially blue flame Hellbats paired with those siege tanks, they're actually just absorbing so much damage. It makes it really hard for the Marines to jump on top of the tanks. And as we all know, ByuN loves to play these very Marine-heavy compositions. So from Bunny just making the adjustment versus GuMiho, where he played a little bit more Cyclone-heavy, and then coming here against ByuN and playing a little bit more Hellbat-heavy, these little tiny tweaks that he's making to the build, tailoring them to the opponent, but still keeping the same skeleton of the 3 factories, the mass siege tanks, the 2 Ravens, the air superiority. This is really cool. I kind of want Bunny to do this again here on Persephone. I'm curious what
I think he's going to
do to stop it.
I think literally Bunny just has to keep doing this until he's in the round of 8. I mean, it looks really good. Sometimes I'm looking at a game and I'm like, I want to do this build. This looks so strong. Guys, game 2 is ready. Let's go to Persephone now. Okay. We got a SCV on the map, and that's ByuN's SCV. And it looks like a second one's going to come out. And, yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to make these right outside of the main base, here, of Bunny. So it's going to be 2 SCVs, so double racks. And there were periods we had triple racks, but this is not going to be one of those games.
Usually this is Reapers. We did see Bunny go for double barracks Marauder, which did not go very well. And
was that GuMiho or was that Bunny?
I think that was the GuMiho one with the Banshee, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Now you have me doubting myself.
No.
It's always when you have this many Terrans in a group. No, it's very hard.
You can start to mix up who did what in what game.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, look, when you have builds like this, it's all going to come down to the first few seconds of the interactions. If you can snipe their Reaper and start to snowball your Reapers into their base, you're going to win the game.
Reaper does get queued up here for ByuN, so will not be that Marauder proxy. Second gas also getting ready to be taken. Money has no idea, by the way. I think even in game number 1, neither of these guys scouted particularly early.
Right.
And
Well,
so there's a chance that Bunny just continues to develop and is completely blind until the Reapers jump into his main base.
I actually thought that was Bunny's SCV going up there. I was like, oh, I didn't see that leave his base. Okay, so this rush is about to start. And it's all going to be about keeping that first Reaper alive, trying to use SCVs to body block. You're okay. Oh, what's up?
Well, Bunny knows.
All right.
Is it too late, though? SCV's already getting pulled. He knows he has to be able to intercept these guys right on top of the ramp. ByuN is setting the first Reaper down to the natural expansion ramp instead of the ledge where the Reapers can jump up. I think anticipating this move. Oh, I love this on the high ground, just splitting the attention of the SCVs. He's going to be able to jump on the Reaper because of it.
And he can't quite get that Reaper. The Reapers are so low, he might want to leave and wait for the third and the fourth Reaper to come into play. Remember, they regen, so yeah, I mean, he's going to try to loop around again here.
I think this is really smart. Just completely running around the SCV pull with them, you know, holding that top side. Grenades really good right now for ByuN, but a lot of these, oh man, that Hellion shot, I think hit all 3 Reapers, very low on HP.
Yeah.
One of them almost died.
So he killed off one.
I think Bunny's done. I think he's stabilized.
Yeah. And remember, Reapers, I mean, nothing falls off faster as an investment than a Reaper as longer the game goes on. Like, they don't have any utility. So, like, he's really forcing his way into either a win or a loss very soon here. Whereas Bunny's playing a more straightforward approach. ByuN is going to try to go around to the front, gets cold feet, backs up. And I think Bunny did it,
Yeah,
right?
We're just going to transition. Yep. That was looking scary for a moment there.
Oh, yeah.
When ByuN had that first Reaper go around the natural ramp and pair up with the second one, jumping into the main base and was able to snipe the Reaper of Bunny, I thought that momentum would be building really fast. But as it is, Bunny just with great control, able to barely hold on by the skin of his teeth. Now both players macroing back up. ByuN going to use one barracks to scout and send one back home. Confirms a command center. Sees the starport, and I think he might be fishing for these Marines right now with those Reapers.
And the Reapers got to keep an angle where they can't. Okay, now those Hellion shots are god tier. He's going to clean that up. Beautifully done. And we're in a game where ByuN is going to be very uncomfortable for the next couple minutes.
Command center significantly faster here for Bunny, as is the tech. Already Ravens in production.
Yep. And I mean, there's just not much right now for ByuN. But of course, this is what happens when you proxy racks and fail. And so he's going to get his base up here, but we're going to have more SCVs coming down now. And uh-oh, it's our old friend the Raven. He's going to go for the exact same stuff. I love landing this, by the way, here. It's like, let's get some value out of this building.
Manor barracks.
Yeah, the manor racks at the expansion. Yeah, I mean, I'm in love with this style of play today.
Yeah, Bunny's been showing some really cool games with his 3 factory push. And the Cyclone positioning is fantastic, too.
Yeah, I mean, everything is so preemptive. I love it. Third base, I like this from ByuN. He might just die, though, but I think this is kind of the only way to play when your rush fails, is to do something at an elevated level of risk. It's either that or you're going to play from behind. And Bunny didn't actually check, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's just so bold to throw a third command center down on site.
On site, yeah.
That it's not
naked
even
third base on site is Terran, man.
Yeah.
One SCV out there building the whole thing.
Not even on Bunny's radar. The double factory is coming in, so we're going to have that push again coming out from Bunny. And actually, for that reason, I kind of like this third CC timing for ByuN, because this one might actually start to pay dividends before the push hits. You know, sometimes when you go for this later third command center, you invest all this money, but you don't get the mules, you don't get the extra SCVs, you don't get the mining because it just comes online too late. In some way, getting the faster third command center could be a boon here for ByuN. He might just have a little bit more units because of it. But my question is, how are you going to navigate your unit composition here as ByuN to try and stop such a strong force that Bunny is bringing to the table? Because these armies, they are formidable It's siege tanks, it's Hellbats, it's 2 Ravens with mass Vikings. Nothing there dies easily.
Okay, he's moving out now. He's going to pick this up and head south and try to get some value, some damage off. Kind of didn't expect to see the Raven actually go all the way across the map like that. You don't want to lose that. I mean, that's like your most important unit. And we've got the 3 factories. I mean, it's going to be the bunny push.
Yeah.
Oh,
whoa!
what?
ByuN, what a catch! Gets the Raven in the middle of the map.
Oh, my
Even
God, it gets away.
escapes.
Target it.
Man, that is nice there. Oh, Cyclo goes down there.
He's
right
going to
at
get the
the
medevac
end.
too.
Oh, no.
Oh, I feel like actually
It was so good
Bunny
until
got
it
like the
wasn't.
upper hand here. Now the tank push is coming out. Spotter racks, by the way, being moved with this. I don't know if that was in the last push, but I like that too. Bunny push coming. By the way, Bunny was always the guy, in my head, I'm like, this is the guy that always picks up his 2 tanks with his medevac when he's going to push, like to move him around a little bit quicker. Now it's all about the Ravens and the tank pushes.
Yeah, Ravens and Vikings
Nice.
too. Disable comes in on the first siege tank, and Bunny's just going to set himself up right in the natural expansion. SCV's getting pulled here for ByuN. The Vikings have landed. SCV shot, or siege tank shots on the SCV's getting a lot of damage. Done this mineral line already wiped out. The Hellbats just destroying these SCVs. They get melted. Entire mineral line is gone here for ByuN. I think Bunny is only just now realizing there's a 3rd base on site too. He's
Yeah.
going to send 2 Hellbats that way. The economy for ByuN is in shambles. And the standing army that Bunny has is just eclipsing anything ByuN can muster at this stage. Bunny even throwing down 2 more factories back at home, building a 3rd command center on site.
It's an execution down here.
Oh, this is a painful death for those SCVs, just getting slowly roasted by flames.
So, I mean, he's at 37 workers, but he's going to be down a lot more than that because these SCVs are never going to see the light of day. And, I mean, look, the 3rd base is going to be made here for Bunny. He's always getting that 3rd base late, but, you know, it's because he's packing such a punch with these pushes. I love the landed racks.
Making one
with the
Marine. Why not?
Yeah. Just in case he loses the Viking edge, that Marine can shoot up and drive those Vikings away.
See, this build from Bunny just unstoppable so far today. It's looking like it's going to be 4-0 with this build.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is apparently the TVT god. How would he do against Maru? How would he do against, you know, the other Terran players that we've got here in Korea? I mean, could you know, because this looks just so good. I think this is about to be the killing blow. SCV's pulled. Not enough. Bunny's build looking just unstoppable.
There is just so
GG.
much firepower behind this push, and Bunny is going to ride his TVT expertise to a round of 8
Look at that smile.
berth. I mean, he earned it, man.
Yeah.
These are some really sick pushes. Just fantastic games from Bunny. Wow.
That was cool.
Yeah, we
I mean,
learned something today.
Well, he just clearly has this approach that, you know, everybody else has been doing stuff different. This is why it's always special when you have a day that's going to be a lot of like a certain matchup, is you get to do these deep dives and really compare and contrast how, you know, these guys are playing. ByuN looks pretty beat up. He's always been one of our more emotional players. Obviously, he probably wanted to just get out of this group as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, that's not happening.
All right, interview now with Bunny. Well, congratulations, Bunny, on your victory. It's been a while since we've seen you in the GSL Code S. But here in Season 2, you've been able to make it to the quarterfinals. How are you feeling? Well, you know, I couldn't qualify for the GSL last season, and it was kind of a hard time for me not being able to be in Code S, but that gave me a lot of motivation coming into Season 2. So, you know, I just kept practicing StarCraft, and coming in today, I'm just very happy to have made it to the round of 8. Well, you know, historically, ByuN, it feels like he has had your number, but today, just build-wise, you were on another level today. You were able to win 2-0 over your opponents. Yeah, even though I'm younger than ByuN, I feel like my control is still worse than him. So historically, ByuN has been doing better than me in the head-to-head matchups. So coming into today, I was trying to recall the moments where I actually did find success versus ByuN, and you know, I'm happy to be able to beat him again today.
이걸 거의 태태전에 주
Well, you know, in 2 games versus GuMiho and in 2 games here against ByuN, you use very similar builds, only small adjustments. Do you think that you're starting to make a new meta here in TVT?
준비를 했는데 그때 이게 예전에 이렇게
Well, you know, I had 15 hours of flights back and forth going overseas for tournaments, and so I spent that time just brainstorming builds. And once I finally landed back in Korea, I practiced the build that I had brainstormed on those flights. And it actually worked really well, and I was able to showcase it here today. That is so cool.
김준호 선수 연습 많이 해서 좀 자신감이 좀 있지 않아요? 어떠세요?
자신 없고요.
없어요. 아.
Well, you know, we've heard that you were the practice partner with Hero for his finals match versus Cure. You're probably going to face him in the quarterfinals. Are you feeling confident in that matchup?
징징 안 되고 제가 준비만 잘하면은 이길 수
You know, after DreamHack, I actually felt like Terrans shouldn't be whining anymore.
그에게도 한 말씀 감사 인사 부탁드립니다.
You know, I think as long as I practice hard, I feel like I'm going to have a very good chance to beat him or anybody else.
했었는데 오늘 그래도 좋은 모습 보여드린 것 같아서 다행이고.
You know, last season again, I was pretty disappointed with my performance, and I'm still very grateful to my fans for supporting me through that. And now that I'm back in the GSL Code S, hoping to show good games. And he certainly hit it today. Those were some really cool pushes. We saw like the same build basically 4 times, but I'm really happy we did. That was so much fun.
Well, clearly that's the way to do it, man. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. We'll be right back.
Good times they gon' they go. You lose, you learn, move on. You need that stepping stone, and your friends still surround me. You up, you win it all. They came, you stood your ground. You earned that body now. Your friends all around me. These the days you'll always talk about. These the friends y'all won't fall out. These the friends do good and bad that make it count. 'Cause really in the end, it's all about your friends. It's all about the good times that you always reminisce. Good times in the bad, happy on your side. You know you can do it if your friends they have your back. It's all about your friends. It's all about your friends. Through ups and downs, times you made them proud. You know you'll be fine if you always keep them around. It's all about you. Good friends, good times, good luck splitting up. Yeah, me and mine had ups, had downs. Through it, I get my crew, they stay down. If you fall, then we fall too. And if you do, guarantee I got you. And if it's true, guarantee I got you. Can't name a damn thing I won't do. These the days you'll always talk about. These the friends y'all won't fall out. These the friends do good and bad that make it count. 'Cause really in the end, it's all about your friends. It's all about the good times that you always reminisce. Good times in the bad, happy on your side. You know you can do it if your friends they have your back. It's all about your friends. It's all about your friends. Through ups and downs, times you made them proud. You know you'll be fine if you always keep them around. It's all about your friends. It's all about your friends. Through ups and downs, times you made them proud. You know you'll be fine if you always keep them around. It's all about your friends.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go to the losers match now. As SHIN, coming off of an incredible performance at DreamHack, is possibly going to get eliminated here. It's going to be SHIN versus GuMiho. GuMiho, you know, with what Bunny is doing, it looks like Bunny clearly is the best TV tier right now, probably in the GSL. So I'm not too worried. I think GuMiho could be in good shape. Yeah, I think this is going to be a close match, honestly. I don't know who's going to take this.
Yeah, I could see this going either way.
Yeah,
Shin's got a very...
It's kind of all the matchups today. I'm like, well, it could be. I mean, it could be either or. I don't think there's necessarily a clear favorite in any of these. I think all these guys are pretty close in skill.
Yeah, if I knew that Bunny had this build, I would have put him as my favorite coming into this group. But on paper, it just feels very even. You know, SHIN is one of these more aggressive Zergs too. He likes to play with like a lower drone count. He really likes to take like the fight in the mid game. He's very powerful in the mid game. He always has been. But GuMiho, over the past couple of months, has just been a beast with the battle mech, Cyclones, and Hellions, and just slowly whittling down Zergs with kiting and micro. And that can be dangerous for somebody who really likes to lean heavily into Roaches and Ravagers. So I'm really interested in how these two playstyles are going to shake out. Guys, game number 1 is loading up. It's going to be Maganatha, loser of this series, out of the GSL.
Okay, GuMiho in the bottom right, SHIN in the top left. SHIN formerly known as Ragnarok.
Great ID, by the way. Surprising he changed it.
Yeah, I think in an interview he said like his family didn't know which one was him, so he changed his name to SHIN, which is his name.
I knew it was his family name.
I was like, well, just tell your family your name's Ragnarok. I mean, it's easy enough, man.
Give him a little note card.
Yeah. So you write it down, right? That's my ID.
Here's my business card.
Yeah.
I'm Ragnarok.
So it's going to be Command Center first from GuMiho. I like it. We saw this from ByuN earlier. This build definitely trending right now in TVZ.
Almost feels like it's 2 years ago again with those 8-racks builds.
Yeah. A lot of these kind of power, double eBay, quick 3 bases. I think that overall 8-racks build is so much better than just the 2-base timing push. Because getting a command center this fast allows you to get that third command center even faster, Yeah,
I always thought this brand of TVZ was just very solid. Command center first.
Yeah, I'm not a Terran player
style.
myself, but I'm like, that's what I would do. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're Protoss players, so of
Yeah,
course we're going to do the most
we're
coin flippy thing.
scumbag Protoss
We're going to do the
players,
most coin flippy thing. It's like, I'm either going to proxy 2 racks or I'm going to build a command center first. Nothing in between. But yeah, it is a very powerful approach. I'm thinking back to the last GSL, which sounds like a long time ago, but it was only a couple weeks ago, when Maru did, I don't know if it was the CC first opening, but he went really fast triple CC with Dumble Engineering Bay. I don't know if you recall this. And he basically died to Roaches and Ravagers, but was able to only secure the natural expansion. But at one point, he just had 3-3 bio and was able to win the game behind that. And so there's some real comeback potential, even with these greedy builds. If you get greed checked, if you play it right, you just play like Maru, you can sometimes still find a way to victory. So I love that we're seeing more command center first and greedy plays from Terrans like this. Usually also when this culminates in a timing attack, it's a much more potent timing attack because you just have more stuff.
Yep.
It might be lower tech, but sometimes, as ByuN has demonstrated earlier today in one of his games against SHIN, just hitting faster or hitting with more beats having a higher tech army.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a little bit slow to start this off unless the Zerg decides to do some kind of crazy all-in timing. There's that quick third command center. So, I mean, pure greed. The Overlord isn't going to get to scout this, by the way. Now, you might just, when you see a command center right away, you might just assume, okay, this is going to be, a 3-base, 8 racks. I don't know if you necessarily have to, like, scout that and confirm. It's always better if you can. So I'm curious how exactly this is going to be dealt with. Now, there's 12 lings being made.
Yeah, that is a lot of lings.
Is he going to get any more than this? We have 2 drones. We're started before the Lings.
It might just be 12. You know, there is a chance here that GuMiho is not watching these very, very weak units, the Reaper and the first 2 Hellions.
Yeah, if you can run in there and just surround that, it's pretty good. And so I think that's what he's going to do.
Potentially also, GuMiho, if he moves across map, might just completely leave the natural make
man.
and yeah, that's exactly what's going on right now. SHIN, he is taking the long road all the way to the natural expansion here of GuMiho. GuMiho's entire force is probably going to be rallied. Even these next 2 Hellions might be coming cross map. There are, I think, at least 3 Queens out. Another one is about to finish. You should be able to deflect a small number.
Okay, they're going to run in now.
Is there going to be a surround? Does GuMiho realize, okay, he reacts really quickly. SCV is also getting pulled. They need a body block for these Hellions so they can land their splash damage. Really good control right now from GuMiho.
That was perfect.
This could have been a disaster for GuMiho, but instead, SHIN not really getting anything out of these Lings. I mean, if those first 2 Hellions get surrounded, then suddenly SHIN's building a little bit of momentum. Could probably find some more damage, maybe SCVs. That was well played by GuMiho.
So he's coming up now. Oh, doesn't get the block.
They couldn't get it. The Hellions, they just got in the wireframe. They blocked it. And now they're coming into the natural expansion. SHIN was so good with his drone control before. Right now they're getting blocked by the Queens. In total, only 7 of them actually going down. This could have been much worse here for SHIN. He still has a worker lead, but
GuMiho's in really good shape right now. He handled the Ling Rush perfectly, and then he actually counter-punched in with the Hellions, got value, got some drone kills. 7 is fine. You know, the Evo wall didn't get up in time. And we're going to continue to see GuMiho develop. Remember, that push is going to happen soon here.
Yeah, it's going to be mech again for GuMiho.
Yeah.
More Hellions being produced, 2 more factories just finishing up, an armory as well. And it's going to be battle mech. 4th factory, I believe, starting now on the production tab.
Okay, he's going to come up now.
Do we have a layer tech done yet? Oh, it's just about to finish.
Yeah, he's not. Okay, he's going to get some kills on these drones. Can't last for too long.
Ooh, might be able to get a couple more here in the main base. That Spore quite far to the top right, but instead of going to pivot down here to the natural expansion.
The 2 Evo chambers are down here. It goes, and those are pretty late, by the way. I think when that attack hit in, it slowed him down from doing anything else.
All right, Banshee is going to escape. Is that another command center? That's another command center on the ground here for GuMiho, man. He is loving these 4 CCs.
Yep.
He's addicted to these 4 CCs.
He's hooked, man. But he's going to continue to power up. I think he's in a lot more control in this game than what we saw previously. I thought that SCV was going to be able to maybe citizens arrest that Ling.
I actually like this development a lot because when you play a battle mech style like this one, he's going to be getting vehicle plating. He's going to be getting some really powerful cyclones.
Yeah.
A large number of Hellions. He should have map control for the foreseeable future here against SHIN, at least for the next couple of minutes. So this 4th CC, I mean, absolutely, just keep reinvesting the extra money you got from that early CC first, that early 3rd command center, and compound that economic lead. SHIN is going to try and slow him down. There aren't a lot of units here to stop this Ling run by into the 3rd base. Raven now coming in, I thought, with some Hellions, but actually there aren't any Hellions in the natural expansion. They have to come all the way cross map. Just 2 SCVs going down, a little bit of lost mining time, but SHIN does spot the 4th command center. Oh man, GuMiho throwing down 3 more factories. We might have a max GuMiho in like the next 3 or 4 minutes here. He's going to be pumping so many Hellions and so many Cyclones.
And this might be this kind of crazy mass Cyclone style where like you're just constantly kiting.
Oh, it will definitely be that.
Yeah. Small amount of Lings are going to try to counterattack over here. This is not a full wall here with the depots. I don't see anything over here, so I guess he's going to get some kills on those workers.
No, I should have said the units from the natural expansion again, I think. No, not a supply depot. Oh, no. A little bit of a misclick there from GuMiho.
He's going to get like over 10 workers here. That's insane to me.
Oh, man.
That's really bad for GuMiho. I mean, those Lings got so much value. They paid for themselves and more, and way slowed down the economy.
Yeah, just one little misclick there from GuMiho. I mean, that's the kind of thing you set and forget, right? Like, you have all these Hellions. You think you're A-moving them into the mineral line, but you actually just clicked on your own supply depot, and so they do not do their job, and 15 SCVs go down. Oh, that hurts there for GuMiho. Unlucky break.
Okay, so these Banshees are going to loop back around. He just needs to get a little bit of damage in here to try to equalize the losses that he got earlier.
Man, they zoom.
that
Speed
Ling
upgrades
run-in
just-
was like the most impactful part of the game here. Like Shin's in very good shape. He does have an armor where he can start to come out here and try to take some fights as well.
If he can force GuMiho into a position where GuMiho can't kite him across map, like if Shin can walk all the way up to the 3rd base or the 4th base here of GuMiho, and not let the Terran kite for too long. Oh man, armor shredding missile plus all these cyclones is deadly. Shin is maxed. He wants to take this fight right now.
Yeah, he's going to move in
Forces
here.
split, isolating the Hellbats on the left side. They're going to have to retreat, but most of them fall actually before they can regroup here with the Cyclones. And Shin is basically cornering GuMiho back into the natural expansion. He has pushed him so far back into his base that the Cyclones, they're not really able to get that kiting value done. And so this is a pretty cost-effective trade here for Shin. You can just look at the supplies right now. He has the economy behind 76 drones to mostly remax here. Sacrificing some roaches at that 3rd base is a fantastic move. Kills 11 more SCVs. I think in total, maybe like 30 SCVs have died so far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny though. You can see the resilience of having the Cyclones, right? Like you can never really quite reach them. You know, they can move as far back as they need to go, and you'll never catch them unless you can pin them in the corner of the map. But he did kill a lot of SCVs at that base over there, and I don't feel like these two bases that are kind of at the exterior position here for GuMiho are very defendable. I feel like Shin can basically wind up and just do another attack like he's going to do right now and probably flatten those spots.
Oh, you know, I'm looking at this a little bit more. Actually, hold that thought. Shin, are you going to commit to this attack? He is. He's going to attack back into the 3rd base right now. Those Cyclones just, man, they are destroying these roaches on the front line, now connecting with the Hydras. But for Shin, it's kind of, you're between a rock and a hard place, right? Like if you kite back like this, because the Banshees have hyperflight rotors, they can move fast enough to give the vision to the Cyclones to maintain the lock-on.
Oh, that's a really good point.
I think that is a big part of this build. As long as he doesn't let them get sniped. Look at this. He doesn't even need to use he doesn't even need to use the scan all the time. This is such a brilliant addition. The hyperflight rotor Banshees. I had no. This was not on my radar.
Yeah, very fresh take on how to play this.
I wish I could see a battle report from that last fight. I feel like GuMiho lost basically nothing, and Shin lost 50 to 60 supply of army. That was just insane. Those Cyclones got so much value. I think Shin, because he killed so many SCVs, thought that GuMiho would be a little bit more scrappy back at home. That was not the case. GuMiho, give him credit. He lost maybe 30 SCVs so far in this game. But even after losing 30 SCVs, he was down at like 60 workers. He has not stopped SCV production basically until this point.
And he just seems like he can kite forever.
I mean, the scan plus the hyperflight rotor Banshee is just getting so much done.
There's infestors here, so he wants to go for a fungal to lock this in.
He's skirting right around the scan. Looping Hellion run by over here by this 4th base, getting a lot of drones. Shin needs to land fungals to lock these Cyclones down and actually kill them. But much easier said than done.
So, I mean, GuMiho can just keep expanding out. We don't see the answer yet for how to deal with this. I know that what Shin wants to do is try to get a fungal off, and if he can lock that in, he might be able to just completely obliterate it. You know, Hydras will just come through and gun that down. But, you know, there's a lot of distance right now between the Terran and the Zerg. And, you know, the creep spread is pretty meager. It's not like there's a ton out here for Shin, and that's in part because GuMiho's done a good job of controlling the map.
Part of the problem for Shin, though, is that, look at the base layout here at Maganatha. The next expansion has to be, unless you go for the top right base, much closer to the Terran. And GuMiho just getting so much value out of all of these units, now attacking the 9 o'clock position here. And she's even going to drop an auto turret. Those infestors a little bit late coming in to this fight. And the entire mineral line, I guess not the entire mineral line, those Banshees actually got more kills then. Yeah, look at this. I was wondering where these kills came from. Oh no, it's the rally from the main and the natural too. That is a brilliant spot to put him there for GuMiho.
Yeah, that's really sick.
Oh, things are just going so wrong here for Shin.
Yeah, he's falling apart here, for sure. And GuMiho, he's going to have a lot more of the map. We haven't had a push that comes in and like wipes a base yet, but I think we're getting close. I mean, he's maxed out now. He's got to spend this money somewhere. Where are the infestors?
We only have a couple of them. I don't see them on screen right now.
He's got tanks here with this mix. So eventually he's going to have those tanks close enough that he can set up some kind of a foothold. We see the infestors coming around, but look, man, he's got to get this over here. He's got these infestors over here and actually take a fight.
This is just insane. I don't see how Shin could take an engagement against this. I just simply don't see it at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like scratching my head trying to figure out like what exactly can he do. And now the tanks are sieged up, so that and Fungal's not going to help now. That's going to be it. GG GuMiho, absolute beast, shreds SHIN. SHIN had a couple strong moments early on, but I mean that comp, I am really puzzled as to how you're supposed to fight that correctly.
I don't have the answer.
He was very patient in
not know.
not getting tanks, by the way. He wasn't getting tanks till he was about to max out. He's like, okay, the last 15 supply is going to be in these few tanks. We're going to push out, and we're going to kill him. SHIN keeping a sense of humor, but also maybe a little tilted here.
It's just such a tough composition to go up against.
It really is.
Yeah, the scary thing behind that too is that GuMiho at the very end, he's getting an auto cannon. He added in additional starports. Like there was also a battle cruiser transition coming, so I mean GuMiho just using the battle mech to carry him through the early game and then getting siege tanks added in, mass expanding, taking all the way up to battle cruisers. He is mech in its final form. Now SHIN, it is match point. GuMiho, if he wins this map, he is going to face ByuN to decide who's going to go to the round of 8. SHIN fighting for his tournament life here in the GSL. Our map Takamaka is loaded up. Let's continue on.
Okay, SHIN bottom left, GuMiho top right. Would not be shocked if GuMiho does that weird mech stuff again.
I feel like with GuMiho, it's weird if he doesn't go battle mech at this point.
Yeah. I feel like he's been meching more and more and more, by the way.
I mean, battle mech it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, it seems pretty strong. Yeah, looking at that composition, it's interesting. I'm glad that you pointed this out, State, because I wouldn't have appreciated it as well if you hadn't made this point, is that, the Banshees allow you to spot.
With his speed upgrade,
Yeah.
I never...
Cyclone, it's already annoying when it targets something, right? But there is like a way. It's like, okay, well, if you can run away. But that makes it so much easier to just do that and just abuse those units. And you're not trading. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like, when you have two armies smash into each other, things are going to trade out. You're going to kill some of their stuff. They're going to kill some of your stuff. So whoever had the better army or controlled better even is going to come out ahead. But with that, you're not trading it at all. You're just killing their stuff with impunity.
Yeah, and the Cyclones, once they lock on, are very similar to the Siege Tank in that they can shoot a lot farther than they could see. And so usually what you'll see Terrans do is they will drop a scan if they have, quality enough lock-ons to make it worth the scan and being a scan instead of a mule, to confirm they get the vision and get as much damage as possible with those lock-ons. But when you have Hyperflight Rotor Banshees with it, as long as you can keep those Banshees alive, which becomes a lot easier once you have Cloak, well, then suddenly you have a lot more mules you can use because you don't need to scan the army during all those engagements. You only need to scan it in the niche moments where the Banshees are maybe a little bit too brittle or they don't have the energy for the Cloak. I mean, that is just a really smart and clever addition that I feel like I haven't seen before in TBZ, or if I have seen it, they didn't do as good a job of keeping those Banshees alive as GuMiho did in that game. I mean, those two initial Banshees, we were at like 5 expansions on the Zerg side, and the Banshees, the initial Banshees, were still getting value, killing double-digit drones. That is so rare in TBZ. It's usually one of those units where it's very strong in the opening, and then eventually it drops off, and usually, because it's a lower priority, you might just trade it for some more kills. You might be a little bit clumsy trying to control something else and not dedicate your control to the Banshee, but GuMiho just really on top of the micro. And now in game number 3, playing greedy again with the triple CC.
I wonder if it's a good idea to do some kind of a Nidus cheese. We didn't have that at all last season. I feel like we always have like at least one game where that comes up, but I mean, I'm looking at this kind of big glaring weakness right now in what GuMiho's doing, and that he can be punished with greed, maybe, or even like maybe not even necessarily a Nidus drop. They're just like, you don't have to just do kind of a macro grind, right, and try to match him. You can actually just circumvent that entirely by trying to get a kill quickly. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
It's not a bad idea. The one way you really can kill those Cyclones is if you corner them. The problem is that it is unbelievably hard to actually corner them because they're so quick, and you also usually as a Zerg in that situation going up against Battle Mech, you're not going to have the creep spread you need to get the speed boost to surround the Cyclones, right? You have to play a very Ling-heavy composition maybe, and try and get like a wraparound on the backside of the Cyclones, and then attack it with the front of your army. But then there's Mass Hellion, so the Lings are going to die. It's a really difficult composition to fight.
So, I mean, for now, it's just going to be the continued powering here for GuMiho. SHIN, you know, going into this game, I think he's going to have just a better, like, general late game ZVT. It did feel like he was kind of trying to figure out how to fight that in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like the Infestors seemed, it almost in that last game looked like he realized, oh, I can lock this with Infestors, like somewhere while he was getting abused by the Cyclones. So maybe if he plays better this time around, he'll have a preemptive Infestors kind of ready to shut that down. It did seem like, by the way, out of all the kind of builders we have in StarCraft 2, that one takes a while to kind of get set up to where you're ready to end the game. You know what I mean?
The battle mech, you mean?
Battle mech with tanks finally at the end to push. It's quite a build-up.
Yeah, you basically max before you do anything else.
So right now he's trying to just clear creep tumors. You know, the Raven can spot, so you don't even have to scan, which allows you to have more mules back at home. It's all about the Ravens today.
Those creep tumors got replaced in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's like, what, 4 or 5 queens is dropping tumors.
Let's also remember, you know, in the last game, SHIN had a really hard time getting creep spread out.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. There's so many Hellions.
Yeah,
It's just, how do you do it? Especially when the Cyclones come in to assist.
I look at it, a moment like this, he can actually force a cancel.
Yes.
I was about to say, I was like, I wonder if he could throw an auto turret down. You don't normally think of Hellions as things that can kill buildings, you know? Because anytime they have an opportunity, they're going to basically go for drones. But yeah, whenever hatchery just starts, if you just have enough damage, you can actually snowball the damage from, instead of spiking up as it grows in HP, into spiking down.
Oh, so many active creep tumors taken out right there. The creep threat is basically non-existent right now for SHIN. He's connected his bases and nothing more. And through really no fault of his own, GuMiho is just playing this style that has supreme map control at this stage. And so for SHIN, if he wants to try and get that creep spread back to where ideally it would be, it's going to be a lot more taxing for him. Oh, this command center, very boldly placed. That's the 4CC.
Yeah, a little cavalier with that command center, putting it that far out.
But yeah, for SHIN, if he wants to do the creep spread, it's going to have to start like around now. But this is the moment where there's so many things you got to do. Oh wait, Queen's just loaded up. I think he's just going for it. I think SHIN realizes that if he lets himself get whittled down by the battle mech, yeah, it's going to be the same story as game number 1. So at 60 drones, he is cutting workers, he's building roaches and ravagers, a ton of Lings coming in. Those are going to be the reinforcements. 4 Queens in the taxi.
Now, Magfield Accelerator is going to finish as this attack hits. So he's got that going for him.
The Cyclone's going to do a lot more damage with their lock-ons now. Queens are dropping. Creep is dropping as well. Hellbat's morphing in, though. That's a lot of HP on those Hellbats. Auto turrets also getting dropped. These SCVs.
I don't think this is going to work at all.
I don't know if there's enough, man. The Cyclones
it's like the Queens are just like stuck over here now. He's going to be able to kill the Overlord.
No.
Oh, that was shut down so easily. There's nothing funnier than when you see like a timing attack like that where it's like, okay, he has to make this work right now, and then you see him like kiting away from that. Yeah, good call with the auto turrets, by the way. Anything to just soak a little bit of damage. The Raven, once again, proving so handy today.
Yeah, one of the things about GuMiho too, and all of these TVZ, or both these TVZ games, is that he has just been so on point with his SCV production. He's basically never cutting. And so he can pull the boys in that situation at the third base and use them to tank. And even if he loses a ton of SCVs, his 3 command centers got online so quick, and he never cut the production, so he can just replace them. You know, like, the economy is still insane here for GuMiho. Blue Flame now coming in. Cloak for the Banshees as well. Siege tanks are slowly getting added.
I feel like when it's going to be GuMiho's turn, it's going to be really hard to deal with this. He's got the 4 tanks, so he might not even need to max out to do this push. But the idea is you basically keep kiting, keep abusing, keep dealing damage, and then eventually the tank's set up, and then you've got a push going on. He's once again moving through here. He's clearing out these creep tumors. SHIN in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, the creep spread just keeps getting reset. Hive is underway here for SHIN, so... Oh, I'm scratching my head at what SHIN can do in this situation to try and equalize. It looks like the play right now, it's going to be Infestors. Burrow's getting researched 4 Infestors in production. Maybe if he can get some miracle fungals. He has been really good with the fungals, not just today, but also at DreamHack Dallas. This is something that SHIN has just been shining through with over the past couple of weeks. But the problem is that the Raven is still alive here for GuMiho, so if you're going to be sneaky with the fungals, with the Burrow and Infester, it just becomes increasingly difficult.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think it's showtime here. He's going to move out. The Banshee is going to come through here and scout. No Infester to snipe or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, without an over... Okay, there it is. He actually baits out the first fungal.
I like that play there by SHIN.
Yeah. Kind of didn't occur to me. Yeah, you can just fungal the Banshees, actually. Okay, he's going to come through here now with this push. And, I mean, it's now or never. I mean, they're both maxed out. He has to stop this push. It doesn't seem like he's deterred or delayed the tanks at all. The tanks are just going to roll right up to the front of this base and siege up. Here we go.
Oh, great
Fungal's
fungal on the
down.
Hellbats and the Cyclones. Vile's also coming in, and then SHIN backs off. I think that's a really smart move. Not as many Cyclones here with this army. And now the Banelings speed is done. They're rolling in. Gonna look for those connections on the Siege Tanks and the Hellbats.
Yeah, that went a lot better there for SHIN.
Wow. He might actually be doing it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, once those Cyclones aren't here to kite anymore, it's a lot easier for the Zerg to take that fight. So beautifully done here by SHIN. I think the Banes were definitely a smart move. Fungal comboed with Banes is the way.
That went a lot better here for SHIN. Fungal on that. Banshee revealing it. He's going to need one more, though. I'm surprised we don't have an Overseer with this army. This Banshee's going to kill an Infester on the retreat. These Siege Tanks also slowly getting picked off right now as GuMiho's retreating all the way back to his triangle third base. I wonder if SHIN just has enough to push through. Looking at the unit count, we have 7 Siege Tanks in total. Some of them are bunched up as well. ByuN can be really good on those paired Siege Tanks. SHIN doesn't even need them right now, just powering through right where the roaches.
Yeah, I think he can actually just start to rally everything over here and probably end the game, right?
There's a lot of production still coming out here for GuMiho. SHIN looking at the reinforcements spring across the map. There isn't that many, so I don't think this is going to be the game-ending blow, but these trades are still really good for SHIN. GuMiho plummeting in supply right now.
Yeah, GuMiho not able to really defend his expansion. These SCVs could very easily be sniped. It looks like the command center may even go down as well. He's going to try to come out here and take this fight now. Hydra's again retreating off of creep. Always a little painful to watch. Well, you know, yeah, I guess he's not going to get that killing blow up. I thought we were going to see this wave of more Zerg units coming out and going. That's so funny. Yeah, instead we're still in this game. Supplies virtually even right now.
Another expansion going to be taken by GuMiho at the 3 o'clock position. Army values also basically dead even. Now the Cyclone count's getting really high. GuMiho's transition kind of out of tanks and back into the battle mech. It feels like that is the first stepping stone, and on that foundation is when you can add the siege tank. Seems to be GuMiho's philosophy a little bit in this matchup.
So, yeah, I mean, the game suddenly has quieted down quite a bit. We've got Vipers in play here as well. And I guess from GuMiho's perspective, all he can really try to do is wind up and do another attack. But SHIN's definitely shown us he has, a more stable solution to this. It's the combination of Infestors. Nice, he gets the Banshee. Combination of Infestors with the Banelings. Extremely strong.
Yeah, it's going a lot better for SHIN here in this game. This planetary just a little bit too late. It's going to mean a lot of SCVs go down. But still, GuMiho sitting at 74 workers. He has just been so on point with the SCV production. I feel like I keep seeing SHIN get in these positions where he's killing, 5, 6 SCVs at a time, whether it be at the 3rd base, at the 5th base. And I look down at the workers count, it's still basically dead even, which is insane against a Zerg, right? I mean, the economy for GuMiho is just through the roof.
Yeah, he's looking extremely strong.
Max again, basically on pure battle mech, by the way. He only has 2 siege tanks, 1 Raven. The rest of his supply is SCVs, Hellions, and Cyclones.
It's kind of crazy, man. Again, it's such a different type of game. It's almost like you're playing a whole other race right now with this unit composition. Like, I wonder how many other players actually ever do this besides GuMiho.
Cyclones are the 4th race.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to come in over here, and I mean, look, this is a slow Zerg army. I don't know if he's going to be able to save this in time. Even an auto turret up here to soak.
And I love that GuMiho, through all this, always keeps 1 Raven with these armies.
Yeah,
Clear and keep
so
as
good.
he moves. And
here
now
we go. That abuse is being dealt again over here. Vipers not really doing a whole lot. This other base down here, it's at half health. which means it's going to die real fast.
8 Broodlords in production right now. Good abducts right there. Going to be able to get a lot of these Cyclones there on the front line. Only one of them able to escape, but the damage being dished out by those Cyclones barely, barely taking out that hatchery. And now SHIN, he's down to 3 bases tasteless. He does have these not these Overlords, he has these Broodlords, but they're so slow.
I feel like you can just avoid the Broodlords, right? I mean, oh my God. Mass
even
execution over there.
Not even the
here we
drones
go.
are safe.
Yeah, he's got to stay away from those Broodlings.
This army that you see with SHIN is basically what you get. He's only just now retaking that third base, or retaking now the 4th base.
Yeah, GuMiho has so much of the map, but again, you know, you can kind of just avoid the Broodlords. Like, I don't see why, like exactly like this. Just keep counterattacking.
You can even just go for a base trade, basically.
Yeah,
attack like the 5 o'clock position, attack the 7 o'clock position, take those expansions out.
He's going to pop this hatchery. There's no way this is going to be saved.
And just looking at the minimap again, the creep spread is just crazy. And also, you know, these abducts, they are fantastic here for SHIN. He's getting value with these Vipers, but the issue is the units being abducted are very easily replaced. And
right.
They're Cyclones.
Oh,
and
guys,
GuMiho's on 80
here.
workers. So we just see SHIN kind of sharking around the map, trying to basically corral these Cyclones into a position where he can force a fight. And GuMiho just keeps skirting around. He might go back to SHIN's triangle third base and take that one down instead.
I think that's exactly.
Oh no, he's going to find the Vipers instead. Some good lock-ons are able to get at least one of them. The second one with the scan confirming the kill.
Yeah, now these Broodlords coming in here and hitting this base. We've got a lot. Okay, so he's going to have the medevac with the Thor here. He's going to pick that up and probably go right underneath those Broods.
This is so many Thors.
It's crazy. All right, he once again comes in here. And I don't know if there's anything that can actually protect this. You know, the Hydras are just not that fast. And
even with a repair right now in the Planetary Fortress, these Broodlords are just really struggling to take this expansion down. Meanwhile, GuMiho is expanding to the entire top left side now.
oh my God, he's going to run in the main.
He's gonna lose these Cyclones, but back at home, he's already got 9 Thors.
Yeah.
More, I'm sure, are in production.
And I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch. I think he's just going to come out and be able to push it and kill this. The Broodlords are not going to be a threat anymore. This is always, since the dawn of StarCraft 2, I've always noticed this. Like, when the Broodlords come out, there is this inherent problem where, like, you could just run away from them and hit somewhere else.
Wait, we're about to have 9 Infestors for SHIN with Neuroparasite. Is there a world where he's able to take over these Thors?
That would be insane. That would
have
be
a winning
insane.
fight? Okay, got 1 Siege Tank, able to take down one of these Infestors. SHIN. Neuroparasite, I think it's not yet done. Blinding Cloud is going to buy some time. Nice micro there with GuMiho on the medevac.
The thing is, I think that he's going to be able to take over these after the damage has already been done. Like, the hatchery's already gone. Something's happening in the main for the Zerg, by the way, too.
Wait, is there another Cyclone in the main or something?
There's like
one Hellbat.
GG.
GG.
GuMiho wins that. We got a
Man.
TDT for our final match. SHIN just did not have an answer for that really creative style coming out of GuMiho.
I mean, it's just so hard to deal with. BattleMech is so strong right now. I like the out-of-the-box thinking there for SHIN, going for the Neural Parasite, identifying there's probably going to be a Thor transition, but in the end, just GuMiho way too big. Basically had his entire side of the map, a massive army. SHIN's going to be knocked out here in the GSL.
Yeah.
GuMiho advancing to face ByuN in the final match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got to give it to GuMiho. He really looks at this game in a very different way. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to play against. It's like, this isn't on brand for what you're supposed to do in this matchup. So hard to stop. Guys, ByuN versus GuMiho coming up next. We will be right back.
more than enough to let the light in. The way you're making me feel it's divine. It's enough to let it flow, let it be. 'Cause you're everything that I crave in this life. 'Cause we're everything we can't find in another life. Take my hand and my promises, they're yours to be held, and I want you. I only want you. Keep my heart and my honor is yours to be held, and I want you. I only want you for the rest of my life. My life. For the rest of my life. You're in my sight, in my mind, in the quiet and up front out loud, in the calm, in my spirit and the storm. 'Cause you're everything that I crave in this life. 'Cause we're everything we can't find in another life. Take my hand and my promises, they're yours to be held, and I want you. I only want you. Keep my heart and my honor is yours to be held, and I want you. I only want you for the rest of my life. 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 Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. This is it for Group B. This final best of 3 to decide who is going to go into the round of 8.
ByuN versus GuMiho. A lot of exciting matches today, and these are the last 2 players standing. Bunny already seeded into the round of 8. Who's going to join him, GuMiho or ByuN? Both these guys have actually been looking really good today. Both of them kind of got trounced by the timing attacks that Bunny did. I feel like we didn't really get to see their full potential in TVT.
Yeah. You know, it's like the Raven tank push has just kind of plowed through both of these guys. They were not able to really get anything done. So I want to see what the interactions are going to be like this time around. you know, GuMiho, he's got that weird way of approaching the game. You could certainly bring that out in TVT. At the same time, ByuN has had some great pushes, some great control. That might be how he secures a win here now. But to be honest with you, I'd have no idea who's supposed to take this. I do not know who's better.
I think it's going to be pretty close. GuMiho always tricky with his early game tactics, but yet another player that shines in the early game, usually with his micro. We're going to be in for a treat with this one, and we've already seen so much mech today. I feel like we've had basically most of the games today have been mech, haven't they? GuMiho played a ton of mech in his previous series against SHIN. We've had 3 factory pushes in a lot of these TVTs. I wonder if we're going to get it again. I mean, if that's the case, maybe this is going to lean on the side of GuMiho. He's got more experience, guys. Let's find out. Game 1 is starting now on ley lines. Whose SCV is that?
Yeah, who's the red one? It's ByuN.
I knew it was ByuN. Oh!
Wait.
No way.
No way.
Are they going to proxy in the same spot that we had it earlier?
It's 2 SCVs on both sides. So they are.
I've seen this before. We're in a time loop, tasteless.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the Groundhog's Day cast. We got to cast this over and over again until we do it perfectly.
Oh, the SCVs, they saw each other here in the middle of the map. And now GuMiho is going to build it behind the line of sight blocker in the center. Wait, GuMiho also sitting at second SCV. He's going to find the barracks from ByuN. It barely glimpses it. He can attack this SCV and stop the barracks from completion. Oh, this is a crazy start to this TVT.
Well, we need to get another barracks started back at home.
So ByuN now building a barracks in his main base. The barracks out here, I feel you just have to cancel that. There is no way that is going to be completed.
This is insane.
GuMiho considerably faster with this barracks in the center of the map. ByuN is going to now try to find that.
Can he get anything done with this? You know what I mean? Okay, the SCV is going to come out here and stick out. There's not enough time to kill this SCV.
I am shocked, by the way, that ByuN has not canceled this barracks.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Is he going to... For a second, I thought like maybe he sneaks a SCV and tries to finish it. Now finally canceling that.
Yeah, why was he leaving that up and running, though? That was very strange.
Maybe just planning on going for a command center so it doesn't really matter when he spends that money. I'm not sure, but in any case, it's going to be 1 proxied barracks for GuMiho now.
Which really can't do anything.
Right, especially with the rush distance. Even though it isn't the center of the map, by the time that Reaper reaches ByuN's base, ByuN will have basically caught up on the production time with the barracks of his own. And so the main difference beyond that point is that ByuN has a much faster command center, whereas GuMiho went double gas into a much faster factory. And so maybe with the factory units paired in, GuMiho can use this tempo to try to find some damage, but I feel like so far today we have seen Terrans just be so effective on the defense in these TBT matches, especially the early game skirmishes, that I'm skeptical he'll be able to get too much done. I mean, the biggest advantage here for GuMiho is that, you know, because he does have the faster tech and the faster barracks production, he can throw down this command center on site as opposed to in the main base like ByuN, so there's a little bit less idle time.
Okay, so he's going to try to come up here now. Now, keeping him on one base is pretty nice. You know what I mean? But this is not your standard TVT. This game's turned out so weird. He's going to go in here and be able to kill this Reaper.
Yeah, that's a
Can
nice
he
move.
actually snowball this damage? The Marines are very much inferior when fighting the Reapers if you get the right grenades and shots off here. Now, he only has those 2 Reapers. There's not more that are trickling in.
I almost feel like this barrack should just plan at the natural expansion. You know?
Yeah, just like land there and deny him from landing.
I mean, the orbital for ByuN would have to stay in the main base for so long. By the way, back at home, GuMiho, I think, going mech again. He's starting Mech Field Accelerator and a
favorite upgrade.
Another Cyclone. I guess the scouting information is a little bit more valuable here than denying the command center a little bit more. But
so I mean, this is really hard to deal with right now. He's getting Marines 2 at a time. Now again, this expansion's up and running. With the Cyclone, I mean, dude, with the barracks here to spot, you can really abuse some players.
Yeah, 2 more Marines about to finish on that barracks, but oh, okay. GuMiho not turning around.
Yeah, he actually sends the orbital back. He was going to land it.
How is ByuN going to secure this natural expansion?
I don't know.
GuMiho really going to back off?
I think GuMiho's going to wait for the second Cyclone and just keep coming in here and doing this, right?
Might even wait for the upgrade, too. Magfield Accelerator very close to
When,
completion.
when that's done, I think he can absolutely abuse this position. He's going to have 2 Cyclones here. Oh my god, he's picking up. This might be the worst time to leave your base.
All right, well, Cyclone's coming into the natural expansion. ByuN going to try and find a lock-on here. ByuN can't even really use the high ground advantage of the ramp with vision because of this floating barracks, too.
Barracks at about half health here. That drop is still inbound, but it's got a little bit more travel time.
3 SCVs falling so far. I don't think that SCV is going to catch a glimpse of that medevac. And now the engagement coming in. Oh, nice micro. Dodging the lock-on. You can dodge the lock-on by lifting the unit up into the medevac. That is indeed what GuMiho does. Now he's going to come back into natural expansion. So many SCVs going down, and the drop in the main base tasteless.
This is pretty big, but at the same time, there's so much damage that's already been dealt here from GuMiho. Oh my god, he's got to move these SCVs. What is he doing? He's too busy focusing on his own Cyclones. He forces a pickup.
The command center, it's going to go down! No way! The command center gets taken out.
It didn't even occur to me that could be shot down at that point in time. And look, he's just able to juggle this. I think we might be almost to the end of this game.
I mean, GuMiho is posturing to take a 3rd base. The command center's already there on site. ByuN does have a little bit going for him with this drop, but with even just an unsieged tank.
Yeah, I think one unsieged tank can still take this all out.
Oh, I feel so bad for ByuN right now. Losing that command center is just such a painful loss.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you have GuMiho, he will be up to 3 command centers soon here.
He's going to throw down a 4th one. Just you wait.
ByuN's doing a push, actually, right now.
Yeah, I feel like you have to.
I think you got to kind of go all in from here.
There's no way you throw down a command center and win in a macro game with GuMiho almost on 3 CC.
Just playing from behind.
But the siege
here we
tanks,
go.
they are in position. They're going to focus fire down these Cyclones. The Magfield Accelerator, GuMiho just a little bit too strong.
Wow,
and a
GG.
decisive game number 1.
Great game.
I mean, that was a tumultuous early game with the
That was
proxy
so weird.
barracks, the SCVs catching each other in the middle of the map.
But I like what GuMiho did with the medevac coming in there. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, Cyclone for Cyclone. Like, all you got to do is get your own Cyclones, and that will mute any potential. But the strategy, it's like, no, actually, I use this to juggle.
I mean, it was a double whammy, too, because they also had the Magfield Accelerator upgrade for the Cyclones as well. So, I mean, dishing out so much damage, being able to dodge the lock-ons of his opponent, it seems like the right call was to go for the faster tech and the contain as opposed to the earlier command center. Thing is that GuMiho is really good in situations like that one. I feel like that is where he absolutely has an edge over ByuN.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that he has these insane, zany builds, and he, I'm sure in practice, finds himself in crazy situations like this one and just has a general game sense for where the game should go. ByuN, I mean, his early game micro, it's fantastic, but it is match point already, Tasteless. That was a very fast game number 1. Takamaka is loading up. Can GuMiho close it out, or will ByuN fight back here in game number 2?
All right, we're back in this game. Anybody sending SCVs out? GuMiho bottom left, ByuN top right, by the way. Yeah, it's a funny game where they're both proxying each other, but that was a rare moment where they actually spot each other. And then, you know, it's interesting. I didn't expect the game to get that crazy after that. A lot of times when you have an interaction like that, the game has to like actually become very boring because both players got caught, catch each other with their pants down. But yeah, I mean, GuMiho, man, this guy is the king of the Cyclone. In any matchup, he'll figure out how to get it out and make it work for him. And the last game was no exception. It was interesting because, like, I don't know that it was wrong for ByuN to try to move out and do that drop, but man, he really took a lot of damage. By the way, it also didn't even occur to me that that command center would get shot down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's... I mean, GuMiho is just so good in situations like this one.
Yeah.
Where he can leverage some small advantage, usually with Cyclones, and just slowly whittle down the opponent. And ByuN, it's just one bad engagement, some lock-ons getting too much damage done, and suddenly the entire natural expansion is forfeit. And usually when you say that, you're talking about the workers, but in this case, it was also the command center.
Yeah.
GuMiho just... I mean, this meta with the Cyclones, the current state of Battle Mech, this is GuMiho at its scariest, I think. Especially in TVZ, but also here in TVT.
So, what's this SCV doing?
We don't have a command center yet for GuMiho, by the way.
Is he going to make a starport over here?
It's looking like it.
Looks like it, yeah.
Why don't you just be a second factory for faster cyclones?
Yeah, so I can make flying cyclones closer to his base. Yeah, let's see.
I feel like it has to be a starport, but what is he going to do with that starport? So it is
Well-
heli in production. We could maybe have a lift into the main base.
Maybe he wants to, I mean, it could be a Hellion drop. He could maybe make a Banshee, try to run in there and get kills there.
Could build a fusion core, make a battle cruiser.
Make a battle cruiser, there's always that. So, basically, ByuN playing more of a straight-up expand game, and GuMiho is trying to figure out if he can get some damage off here and take a lead that way, or win that way, but probably just a lead.
I miss this, actually. Does ByuN know that he's playing against a one-base Terran right now?
I don't know.
I was just so caught up with the build that GuMiho
Yeah,
was
same.
doing that I wasn't really paying attention to whether there was early game
Well, I
scouting.
think he scouted and saw that it was no expand yet, but there are some builds where you basically tech and get an expansion after that.
I think this is one of those.
Is this trapped here?
Looks like it. Good control right now from ByuN. This is where he shines, man. He can get so much value out of these early game armies. Oh, wait.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Did he just...
Uh-oh.
What?
How did GuMiho
What?
get out of that?
Dude, that's... I almost need to go back and look at that in slow-mo. How did that even happen?
It's a caster curse if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I can't believe... Like, when I saw that he wouldn't have to loop around the minerals, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you lose this fight. Like, you just got out positioned.
Was it just because the Marines went through the mineral line and the other units didn't? That
Seems
GuMiho was
like
able to take
the
that
Reaper
fight?
and the Hellion kind of lined up in a way where damage could be distributed. Dude,
This is getting out of hand. These Marines are all going to fall here at the ramp, and the Liberator's about to siege up in the main base. I don't
my
know if there's an
God.
answer for this. GuMiho might just be going to the round of 8. This is so much damage. Even if this gets cleaned up, I mean, the advantage right now for GuMiho is huge. One more shot with this Hellion would be fantastic. He's not going to get it, but in total, 7 SCVs have fallen. ByuN's lost a lot of his key units. The Cyclone will be able to
you're
chase
trying to
down
move just up through the screen.
this Liberator. I mean, the game is not near closing just
It
yet.
looks like the Liberator
but-
went inside the medevac, by the way. That was a really weird
Dude,
moment.
it is a fusion core.
Oh,
What?
okay.
What? Hold the phone. Where are you going with this fusion core, GuMiho? You know, now that dust is settled, it seems like it's not quite as bad for ByuN as I initially thought it would be. I never thought that would be game-ending damage, but it seemed like GuMiho was going to have some kind of monumental
well, let's say,
lead.
GuMiho, his strat worked. We could say that.
But there's a good opportunity for some counter damage here from ByuN. It's just one Cyclone out. That's the only attacking unit here for GuMiho. With a medevac and all these Marines, ByuN is going to get his counter damage. He's now coming into the main base. Second Cyclone about to finish here for GuMiho. He sees the fusion core. I think GuMiho, looking at the minerals and gas, I think he's literally saving for a battle cruiser, Tasteless.
I mean, let's do it, man. Oh, I love the Banshee. Takes that out, no problem. I do think it was a good idea. Yeah, let's see. We got the fusion core done. Cyclone started. Right now, worker count, it is actually ByuN with a slight lead. Okay, he's going to go right by this.
Dude, I was joking when I said GuMiho should make a battle cruiser with a proxy starport.
I feel like we're in some kind of a weird universe where whatever we say
Dude.
will happen in the game. Like,
I never in a million years did I think he would actually proxy a battle cruiser out of the starport.
how strong is this going to be, though?
I am completely
I feel
out
like
of my
there's
depth.
a reason why we don't see this all the time.
I have no idea, Tasteless. This is just completely out of this world. We have Magfield Accelerator Cyclones being produced at home. 3
Is
of
he
them in
gonna
total on
find
the
us?
field. Oh no, don't, please give me the battle cruiser. Don't find it. You know, I feel like there might not be enough DPS to actually take that thing
No,
down.
I think he can deny it.
It'll be close. Oh please, come on, I'm a dreamer. Give me the battle
No,
cruiser.
I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can do it. He cancels. He cancels.
No.
Well, he's like so behind now. He has this useless tech too. No starport.
I'm so sad.
I know.
I'm devastated. I really wanted to see where this was going to go.
Loses another Cyclone now.
We have double. Is he gonna? He's building 2 starports back at home. GuMiho is. Is he gonna make 2 battle cruisers?
Yeah,
What
maybe.
is happening
He's
right
gonna just
now?
just warp them into the main or something like that. I have no idea. This is a very weird game. But again, this is like why GuMiho is one of the hardest players to play against. Is he does this weird stuff, and it's not even close to what other people are doing. You know, like who's the practice partner you want to have to get ready to play against GuMiho? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a really hard opponent to prepare against, but I mean, look at the units right now. It's 3 Cyclones and 1 Siege Tank here for GuMiho. Yes, you have Magfield Accelerator, but oh man, I feel like I don't even know what I feel like. I am just so perplexed by what we're seeing from GuMiho. He's building Vikings out of one of these starports. I think the other one, yeah, it starts a battle cruiser. He's making tanks 2 at a time. He's on 3 command centers to the 2 of ByuN. ByuN is going to be able to find an angle here into the natural expansion.
Okay, he's going to go into the main. Is the main actually defended? A tank's going to siege up. SCVs, some are pulled.
Oh, we even have siege tanks with this too.
Yeah, well, this seems like a mistake, actually, because this is not going to get that much done. And he's going to siege up once again. He's hitting the 3rd here, too.
Yeah, the thing is, there isn't too much invested at a 3rd. GuMiho could just lift it off and bring it back into the main base.
You know, it almost feels like, well, I guess he gets the 6 kills. I was going to say, it almost feels like ByuN lost more than he killed, but getting the 6 SCV kills kind of makes it worth it.
Oh, ByuN does have a 3rd base as well.
Oh.
These medevacs do get taken out. ByuN, with those medevacs, did spot the double starport. Battle cruisers being produced 2 at a time right now.
Yeah. Now, ByuN's got his 3rd up and running. I think he might have to pull out and try to go back home and defend. But, you know, GuMiho, he did a decent job holding that.
He's making a 4th command center. GuMiho. I'm getting dizzy trying to follow this. We have 2 Cyclones, 5 siege tanks, and 1 battle cruiser out for GuMiho. He just had his 3rd base get lifted back into the main. He throws down the 4th command center. Yamato Cannon is getting researched. Somehow GuMiho has almost equalized in supply.
Okay, he's going to come up here now.
Magfield Accelerator is just insane.
It is so crazy. So we got 1 BC headed up to the top. Where's the other one, by the way? He had 2, right?
He made a Viking first, so the production is kind of staggered.
Okay, got it. Well, I guess this BC is just going to come up here, try to do some harass, and then warp away.
The anti-air is 6 Vikings and about a dozen Marines right now here for ByuN. ByuN is making Vikings 4 at a time, and one thing I really appreciate GuMiho doing is that he's not just teleporting these battle cruisers cross-map. He's move commanding them so that they can actually TP and be repaired back at home in case there's an unfavorable engagement with a ton of Marines, with 9 Vikings, 10 Vikings now in here for ByuN. And GuMiho also skirted his entire army this way. ByuN has no idea. These siege tanks are going to start inching their way towards the natural expansion. It's going to be hard to push them out. ByuN, I feel like half his army supply is just Vikings.
Okay, he's going to try to run in here. He's taking a lot of damage over here. The BCs are up. Okay, he's got, yeah, he's going to have to warp those away. Way too many Vikings here. Now, GuMiho hasn't gotten in there, really done that much damage. In fact, I mean, these tanks are just going to get wiped out entirely.
I mean, they are going to get some pretty big hits off on these Vikings, at least a couple of them going down.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was worth it. That's like everything that he had. It just feels like GuMiho came out with an attack that was completely, like, you know, an army that was incomplete to fight anything.
True, but the Viking count getting reset when GuMiho is continuously building battlecruisers like this.
That's true. That's actually a good point.
I think there is some value in this. I mean,
maybe
I agree
there's
it
something
wasn't
there to that. I guess we just don't have I don't see games with battlecruisers enough to where, like, this is obvious to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It wasn't very good for GuMiho, but that is the silver lining, right?
Right.
Is having the Viking count be a little bit dissipated. GuMiho, by the way, on 83 workers. This is one of the craziest TVTs I think I have ever seen. I can't believe we got to 4 bases like this. This was a proxy battlecruiser build from GuMiho, and now ByuN is full sending with all these medevacs and Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what he can do. It's GuMiho 4th base. Is this going to be well defended?
Those are GuMiho Cyclones. He spots his entire drop right when it hits this 4th base.
Now, I don't know if there's anywhere that this command center can go. It looks like it's just going to get shot down immediately. Can he go any further? Can he do any more damage? The Viking count's so high. Definitely a game where ByuN's playing extremely well.
Battlecruisers continuously in production. GuMiho just threw down 2 more command centers.
Yeah. Getting tanks 2 at a time for now. And
He's going triple armory. What is this game?
Oh, this is
what
so
are you
crazy.
doing, GuMiho? This
He's
is
gonna
incredible.
go from mech into air upgrades, I guess.
Yeah, this is just so awesome.
ByuN's gonna run in here. He takes out the sensor tower.
Yep.
Meanwhile, these BCs are out. The Vikings might try to be able to get over here and save this, but they're not that fast. This is a lot of damage. Oh,
Yamato on the command center, gonna take it out.
Takes him out.
And now you can just teleport away. This battle cruiser hit squad, man. I'm losing track of how many times GuMiho has had to lift command centers. Wow. All right, well, Siege Tank's being produced 3 at a time right now for GuMiho. I think he realizes he wants a little bit more army on the ground. That's probably the weak point right now because there's so many Marauders being produced here by ByuN, even though the bio is a little bit thin that we see on screen right now. The Siege Tank count is also very weak here for GuMiho. It's a very low number. He just finished, I think, 2 more Siege Tanks, so he's up to 6, now 7. And there's a real threat where if ByuN is somehow able to outposition GuMiho and just collapse on one base with a handful of Siege Tanks, that another command center goes down, more Siege Tanks get lost, and they're going to be kind of a domino effect of just the momentum building for ByuN. I mean, with GuMiho, he has so many command centers. Look at the minimap. I think we have 6 in total on the field right now. But there just isn't an easy way for him to actually secure a 4th base. ByuN's army is so much more mobile.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys are pretty tight on bases here. It seems like in a lot of ways, GuMiho's army has more damage, but ByuN's army is more fluid. It's more able to kind of reposition and reconfigure. We're back to this again. The kiting with the Cyclones. Continuously getting 2 tanks at a time is GuMiho. The higher his supply gets, the more covered his whole base will be as far as tanks in siege mode. How many BCs do we have? Is it? I thought I saw 8, but I might have misread it. It might have been 5.
If there's 8, I'm going to be really happy, but I think it might just be these 5 we have on screen.
Yeah. I think if there's anything anywhere else, they would be there. So, I mean, I think he can come through here again. He can easily. Oh, hold on.
Wait,
it's going to be.
No. His Star Sense is tingling right now. Yamato to come in on this command center, but ByuN's really quick with it.
Yeah.
He's going to get. Oh, nope, man. That teleport's so fast.
How many Yamato shots is it to kill command? Do you know? Is it 5? Does he look at that and go, oh, I can one-shot this?
I would eyeball like 9, but I have no clue.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no
what
clue.
It feels like. I've never been in a situation where I've seen a battle cruiser still one-shot an orbital with Yamato. So he's out of my realm.
Getting Thors now, probably to pair with the tanks, the BCs.
The maxed army for GuMiho is going to be a lot stronger than what ByuN has. It's just way less mobile. I mean, the firepower is just huge with Thors, battle cruisers, and siege tanks.
Nice job with that. The Marauders chase away those Cyclones, not able to do too much.
I love this small little squad of Cyclones that GuMiho's got, just picking off unit after unit.
Yeah.
Just anything you
Just
can do to get a little bit of value.
And so this game slowed down quite a bit. We're maxed out.
GuMiho has been able to secure 2 additional bases.
A lot of vehicle upgrades going on right now.
Triple armory.
Oh. Enough to make the tank turn its head. Enough to make it fire initially there. Yeah, I mean, we got the 5 BCs again. Is he going to try to come up here through the side and hit him?
More factories getting thrown down for GuMiho as he nears max. 7 battle cruisers now. I think, Tasteless, we might be able to figure out how many BCs it takes to Yamato and orbital. We're getting really close to that. Hyperflight rotors are also being researched. Are we going to see Banshees here from GuMiho? I feel like he's just unlocking everything in the tech tree. This is some crazy development. It's hard to believe that earlier in this game, it looked like ByuN might just die. With that initial push up the ramp and the Liberator going into the main base. And now here we are, 12 minutes later, a split map scenario, GuMiho on triple armory.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with this tech, the mech is going to be insane as far as how strong it is. We're also in a map where, like, both sides, there's vacancy in the bottom right, there's vacancy in the top left. So in some ways that might be advantageous for the player who's going for infantry because you can, oh, hold on.
Oh! He's TPing on top of the army because the Vikings are out of position. That's going to allow GuMiho to entrench his spot here. And by the way, the Thors with their anti-air capabilities might be able to zone out the Vikings for the BCs here on the right side.
Just takes that command center out immediately. Liberator's coming in. You can see the Thors shuffling back. And what is he going to do? Is he just going to do a counterattack? Yeah, I guess he's just going to go beeline it right to the bottom left. I mean, when you're maxed out, right, your whole army's over here. Mech is slow. The BCs already did warp once.
This is a very smart move coming in from ByuN. Just trying to utilize the mobility. That is your strength here as the bio player. He's going to be able to take all these SCVs out. This command center also going to have to retreat. Forcing a liftoff here. GuMiho, look at the minimap, might be retreating for ByuN's third base as well. In fact, yes, he is. But one thing a little bit concerning here is that, yes, ByuN is getting this damage done, but look at the bank for GuMiho. It is just massive, Tasteless.
Yeah,
he's been
so
adding
rich.
in factories, too.
And, I mean, he can eventually come and try to mop this up. Big wins here for ByuN, too. I mean, he's definitely kind of succeeding in killing stuff pretty fast, but the issue is I'm worried that GuMiho is just too big. GuMiho is just going to, like, slowly follow this.
GuMiho has lost 33 SCVs, and I really want to see the production tab because there's a decision to be made here for GuMiho.
I think GuMiho could just literally just follow this all the way to this base and take out the base. It's almost like, you know, like it's like Michael Myers chasing him in a horror movie. You know what I mean? It's like he's slower, but, you know, eventually he will catch up to him.
But the decision to be made from GuMiho, if you have such a bank, if you don't remake a lot of those SCVs and just max with an army right now, you might have game-ending potential. ByuN has basically been forced almost onto 3 bases. You know, the base at the 11 o'clock position is in jeopardy. Command center is still being sieged by at least 1 tank over in the triangle third here of ByuN. Looks like GuMiho, he's trickling out some SCVs, going all the way back to 52, so he does really want to resaturate these bases and build back up that bank, but I mean, this army as it stands is just massive for GuMiho. Those tanks have a lot of firepower. Once again, just working his way in here. There's no siege tanks for ByuN. It is a Bio Liberator with some Vikings, but is it going to be enough against the fleet? I mean, we have 28 Vikings here for ByuN, but GuMiho with the Cyclones, with the Thors, with the battle cruisers, they just slowly chip away at this air.
I mean, I just don't know that ByuN can do that much. The only thing ByuN has is this one outposted base, very, very top left here. The Vikings are going to try to come in. I think the battle cruisers are actually on the far right side of the minimap.
Oh, they're going for the production. They're going to try and take the production out right now of ByuN.
Okay, the BCs are going to try to run in here. This is a lot of Vikings. He goes ahead and warps away. Oh, this main CC was killed off. I think he Yamato'd that. I didn't quite catch it. And then the remaining SCVs here. I think ByuN's almost dead.
Yeah, ByuN is slowly getting whittled down.
It's the slow crawl of the tanks, the Thors moving up to the last viable expansion on the map. ByuN's going to try to dive in on this. Does he have enough?
Oh, all the Vikings land. They're taking huge damage from the siege tanks, but we still have a lot of battle cruisers here. The Vikings were able to clean up the majority of that. Supplies equalizing, but the Viking count now is down at 16. We have 7 battle cruisers with ship weapons level 3 finishing for ByuN's Vikings.
There's so little supply on both sides.
He's going to try and chase down these BCs. TP still on cooldown, about 75% done. These can't be kited. ByuN, this is your moment right now, getting some really big value.
Oh, I think ByuN can do this.
Oh, this is crazy. I can't believe it, Sace. He's getting so many of these battle cruisers taken out.
You realize how low his supply is going to be when all 5 of these are killed off? Oh my God, all right, he's 91 supply.
What a game.
Now, hold on a second, because the Vikings, they're not that useful after that, right? I mean, it's always good to have something. 3-3 is about to finish here as well, by the way.
Yeah, for GuMiho.
Is there a world where he can get enough stuff to maybe try to take fights somewhere else in the map?
He's going back in battle mech.
Yeah, well, if he gets enough Cyclones, maybe he can make that work.
Yeah, the Vikings, I mean, they're kind of, they're a little bit better than Greffers because they can land and shoot, but it's a little bit of the same dynamic. A lot of the army supply right now for ByuN is in these Vikings that can't get too much done, especially if GuMiho can resaturate these bases and get more Cyclones out, but that's a lot of SCVs there to mine that base. GuMiho, I think once he saturates that expansion, is going to have more mining here. But ByuN, I mean, just look at the supplies. He is so far ahead. Now is really his window. But this is such an awkward situation. We only have 4 medevacs for all this bio. Most of the army value is in Liberators and Vikings here for ByuN. And the Cyclones, they can just keep kiting this. And GuMiho recognizes that. He's adding him Cyclones 3 at a time, but ByuN with Stim, with Liberators, he might just be able to force those Cyclones into a corner where there is no escape. And those Cyclones, they're really bad in head-on engagements like this.
I mean, he takes out the command center. The few Hellions can come in here and try to hit these workers. These workers have been beat up for most of this game, so a lot of them are very low on HP. I don't know, man. It just seems like the army right now for ByuN is so much bigger. It's 135 supply army to 51.
I don't think GuMiho is just going to have the income to be able to stabilize here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Marauders alone are just enough to obliterate everything on the ground.
This is one of the most incredible TVTs I've ever seen.
It's crazy, man.
Like, what a roller coaster of a match. The highs and the lows for both GuMiho and ByuN over the course of this game have just been...
Felt like ByuN...
Wow.
Sorry, GuMiho almost had it, and then, you know, everything, it took so long to get everything he had, where ByuN played more of a standard, you know, TVT composition. And there's a reason why this is what you normally see people doing. It's much more mobile.
It's twice that ByuN in this game looked like he was about to die, but instead he is going to force a game number 3. And this might be the kind of situation where one of these players asks for a break, because that was... I mean, just imagine the stress, the roller coaster of emotions playing through those moments.
I can't believe GuMiho lost that. He was like in such a crazy winning position, but you know, especially when it was like, oh, it's just battlecruisers versus Vikings. That's right. You can just kite these.
I was really skeptical of the Viking land at first because I thought way more of them were going to get taken out by the siege tanks there of GuMiho. But just the splash damage, the way it was distributed, many of those Vikings survived deep in the red in HP. That HP doesn't matter, really, unless it hits 0, unless you're going to actually kill it. I mean, it's still dealing full damage, right? So the fact that they can just outrange the battlecruisers, I don't care if those are max HP Vikings or 1 HP Vikings. They're going to be able to kite those battlecruisers with ByuN's control all the way to deletion. And that basically just eliminated GuMiho's hopes of winning that game. You can see he's a little bit shaken up by that. I think maybe asking for a break before we start this next game.
Yeah, well, we do allow them to take short breaks, just a few minutes if they need to, you know, catch their breath, so to speak. That was a weird game. I mean, GuMiho was going to the far reaches of TVT insanity with the comp he had. Like, I haven't seen a roaming 5 battlecruiser play. Yamatoing down command centers, literally. It was very interesting. The question is that how you're supposed to play? Is that just kind of this weird, obtuse approach that, you know, if you haven't practiced against it, it's hard to deal with, but there is, in fact, a solution somewhere inside the game. He had a lead for most of that game.
I mean, think of the early game. It looked like he might just win outright with a proxy starport.
I actually almost forgot about that.
He killed so many units of the ramp. ByuN was down to basically nothing. The Liberator got into the main base. It was killing SCVs. Yes, GuMiho had a later expansion, but it was looking like that lead was just going to keep compounding for GuMiho. But ByuN just with incredible resilience, fighting back. Guys, we're going to game number 3. This has been a crazy series. ByuN or GuMiho, one of them is going to the round of 8.
Okay. GuMiho, top left. ByuN, bottom right. No SCVs in the map right now. No proxies. Nothing like we had in game 1. Yeah, I mean, GuMiho just doing GuMiho things. Always coming out with this completely different approach to the game. But, you know, these alternative styles, there's a reason why it's not like all the players are just looking at what he's doing and trying to do it. There's a general consensus. There's another way to play the game. And, you know, that's why, you know, GuMiho has always kind of been this 4th race player. You know, his reliance on mech. In the case of that game, it wasn't even just mech. It was like, no, we're also going to get into battlecruisers.
Proxy battlecruisers.
Proxy, yeah, that's true. We never got to see the proxy battlecruiser, what it could do.
That was just one of the most fun games that I have seen in a long time, especially in TVT. I mean, TVT, it's a very explosive matchup. Usually it's very exciting, but just the ups and downs of game number 2. I don't envy these guys trying to close it out now in game number 3 after that match.
I mean, this is going to be a fun one. I'm curious what kind of game this is going to be.
It
this time around.
seems there's some parallels already to game number 2. ByuN is once again going for the one gas fast expansion with the command center on the low ground, and GuMiho is opting for much faster tech.
Yeah, GuMiho probably wants to do some kind of a drop or something like that. Come in there and do some kind of damage.
Yeah, previously he did send an SCV out at about this time to proxy a starport. That is not happening this case. And normally the way these builds equalize at this level of play is that GuMiho, with these early units, with a tempo advantage that he has in tech, is likely going to be able to find some kind of damage, which is countered a little bit by the extra economic bonus that ByuN is going to get. And things normally return to a state of balance, but this series has already been so topsy-turvy that I really do not know what to expect. For now, GuMiho doing a relatively standard opening here. Hellions and Reapers adding in a tech lab right now on the barracks. Almost undoubtedly going to be used for Cyclones. He just loves that unit. He's been getting so much value out of it. Not just today, but over the course of the past couple of weeks.
So we're still letting the tech develop for now. That starport is almost done, so we're going to see, is this going to be like for a medevac, or is he going to do some kind of Banshee tech, or, you know, there's so many different ways you can tech in a TVT early on. By the way, I am glad the last game we had was a long one. A lot of TVT games can be very short, very explosive, but I guess if one guy's going to go mech, you're sort of, unless you have a really early skirmish and win, you're probably going to be in for a longer game, right?
Yeah, the exception being Bunny, who when he goes mech, he kills you in 8 minutes flat. That 3 factory push is going to be so cool. I'm excited to see how the meta of TVT develops now that that build has been unearthed here in GSL.
Yeah. Now, also, we don't know if it's going to be mech from GuMiho. I'm kind of talking like it is because he's done it so many times, but there's a world where he just plays normal. That's the other thing that's tricky with him, is it's not that he always does these obtuse mech builds. Sometimes he will just play that standard strong style and just do fine.
Ooh, Hellions barely missing each other in the middle of the map. ByuN is also loading up a medevac. 4 Marines and a Cyclone on their way towards the main base of GuMiho, who has just been trickling out Cyclones one after one, now adding in the siege tank. Scout comes in, sees no units here in the natural expansion, and so GuMiho should be expecting some kind of attack coming in very shortly. Now, there are a couple of units right outside of his natural expansion, but GuMiho's going to spot this very early, this medevac coming into the main base.
It almost seems like he wanted to keep the Cyclones a little bit further back to kind of let him in so he could snipe it, but ByuN erring on the side of caution just pulls away immediately.
And the natural expansion of GuMiho, I think there was 2 Hellions trying to find some damage. Did get an SCV, it looks like, almost got 2. Third command center nearing completion here for GuMiho just as ByuN throws his down.
And we got a push coming out. Oh, never mind. I thought for sure the way he's coming out, I'm like, okay, he's going to merge that up with the army and then try to come out and hit him.
I think just playing really safe. You know, those Cyclones, who knows where they might be. Yeah. They are GuMiho Cyclones. So
we have Raven accumulation starting here for ByuN with that disable. And we don't have that coming out here for GuMiho, at least not yet.
No, but we do have a second starport and a second factory with this third command center. Very interesting. Second starport this early is throwing me for a loop a little bit. That scan, I think, just barely glimpsed the corner of that starport, so ByuN should have a very good idea of what's going on. And GuMiho, if he commits to adding in more Vikings, he just has almost guaranteed air superiority over the next couple of minutes here against ByuN.
Banshee's going to be on the outside over here. And the first third base has been taken. It's going to be from GuMiho. He's sending his tanks out here. He's going to try to set up a position. But you know, you can almost see what's about to happen, right? The tanks are sieged up at the third, but the Ravens are ready with that disable. I assume we're going to see ByuN try to come out here with this push. I don't know if this is a build he kind of farmed out from losing to Bunny, but I think it has a lot of the same ideas at play.
Yeah, a little bit more bio-focused, but still. We have a fusion core. A fusion core just got thrown down by GuMiho again.
So this is by design.
On double starport in the main base already. 4 siege tanks out right now for GuMiho. He's continuing to produce them. So if ByuN does go for the timing attack, he should be able to disable the majority of the siege tanks here of his Terran opponent. SCV is being sent to the third base.
He's getting 1-1 here. And I thought the push would already come. He hasn't done it quite yet.
Yeah, that's 3 Ravens. That's so much energy.
That's
but
so many tanks that aren't firing if he pulls that off.
it's kind of scary, though, for ByuN because the Viking count is already at 5, and GuMiho's making 3 more right now. We're about to have 8 Vikings.
Okay, I love this. Just kill off the 5 SCVs and run away.
But these Ravens might not be able to get that many disables out if GuMiho is really on point with his positioning. Battlecruiser production now starting as well here for GuMiho. What GuMiho is doing right now is buying so much time, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, ByuN's approach is much more straightforward, but GuMiho has got this kind of weird, abstract way that he wants to get into this, incrementing out battlecruisers one by one. I'm just waiting for this push. I mean, the little counterattack that pulled him away, but you know, there is an opportunity here for ByuN to come in, I think, with a really scary attack.
4th Command Center gets thrown down by GuMiho again. 7 siege tanks in total right now. A lot of them could get disabled by these Ravens. They are very high on energy, but keep your eye on those Vikings. If the Vikings can connect with the Ravens before the disables come in, it could be huge. He's trying to focus them down. He gets 1. Can he get another one? He can. Can he get a 3rd? No, it's the medevac going down. Another Viking going down here for ByuN. And GuMiho, with this air superiority, just took the ace out of ByuN's deck. Those Ravens were going to be the tool he would use to break through into GuMiho's base. Now that count is down to 1. Units lost 150 resources for GuMiho. Almost 2,000 for ByuN.
That was so devastating when he took that out.
GuMiho just made another command center. That is how confident he is in this moment.
Well,
this is so cool.
He might even be able to push here. I think the plan was to stay back and wait, but I think now he's like, actually, I think I could just come out here and probably kill you. I mean, there's not a lot of recourse. There is a drop up at the top, but he's not moving it. No, excuse me, he is moving it, but it's going to go over this 12 o'clock base right now. Meanwhile, this attack, I mean, the final Raven's been killed off. How are you going to keep this 3rd base alive?
These Vikings are just making magic happen. There's basically no anti-air here for ByuN too. Look at, oh man, the battlecruisers are going to TP back home to deal with this drop. Those Marines are going to tickle that BC. Repair going to be coming in as well. 3rd Command Center falling here for ByuN. 22 Marines down with the repair.
The repair is sick.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just no way. The Medivacs cannot heal these Marines fast enough.
I mean, the base armor on the battlecruiser, it is so high. GuMiho getting entrenched in the 3rd base of ByuN. This is some of the most powerful mech play I have ever seen from GuMiho. But ByuN, he's trying one more time. The Vikings, they are out of position. These siege tanks, they're left alone, but there are just so many of them. Tasteless GG. And ByuN is going to the round of 8, or ByuN, not, excuse me, GuMiho is going to the round of 8.
Man, that was a crazy series.
Incredible game by GuMiho.
That last series was by far the best one of the night, too. Leaving on a strong note here in the round of 12. GuMiho gets that final spot in the round of 8. Well-deserved win.
I mean, just incredible games from GuMiho, playing his own brand of TVT, and these mech builds dominating today. 2 different flavors. Bunny with a 3-factory push. He was able to defeat GuMiho. He was able to defeat ByuN. And now GuMiho with fast battlecruiser mech. Just bring the fight in this final series to ByuN. It's so exciting. Let's hear from GuMiho. He is our last player to advance into the round of 8. Well, that was a really tough series. There were some very close games, GuMiho.
사실 이 경기 졌을 때 사실 멘탈이 좀 갈리긴 했거든요. 진짜 설마 그렇게
So you're finally able to make it to the quarterfinals again. How are you feeling here, GuMiho?
좀 방심했던 것 같은데 그래도 멘탈 잘 잡고 이겨.
Well, you know, I was a little bit shaken up by some of those games against ByuN. It was a really tough match. And so I am very relieved to be able to make it finally into the quarterfinals.
이게 거기서 이제 배틀크루즈 한 번에 다 죽고 전차까지는 상관없다고 저는 생각했는데 제가 느끼기엔 좀 후속을 사이클론을 찍어서.
Well, you made a lot of battlecruisers and tanks throughout this series, but especially earlier on in the series, you lost a lot of units on the ground. It was a tough position. How are you trying to come back from that? And GuMiho, he says he wasn't really expecting to lose that match. He tried to remax on the Cyclones, but it just wasn't quite enough.
이기고 올라갔잖아요. 그 빌드에 대해서
Well, whenever we talk about mech Terrans, we're thinking about you. We're thinking about you, GuMiho. But today, Bunny also showcased some really exciting mech play. What did you think about his style?
오랜만에 좀 진 것 같아서 좀 충격을 받긴 했어요. 근데 좀 약간 좋은 빌드인지는 한번 좀 더 연구를 해봐야 될 것
Well, you know,
같아요.
usually when I try to play mech,
그래서 지금 이제 올라가게 됐는데 그래도 지금 2위로
I think he said he tried to play a little bit more of a macro style, but he was shocked that he lost the games the way he did against Bunny.
대결에서 고민 선수 자신감이 어떠신지요?
Well, you know, you're the last player to advance into the round of 8.
3토스조 가는 것보다 훨씬 낫다고 생각을 하고
You're advancing into, I believe they said Group A. How are you feeling about your group compared to Group B?
준비 시간도 좀 많이 있잖아요.
He's like, yeah, well, it's a lot better than being in a group with 3 Protoss.
그럼 프로토스에게 최근에도 좀 아쉽게 좀 패배를 했잖아요.
And so I'm feeling fine about my match. I'm going to do a lot of preparation for my opponents.
이제 상대를 극복할 수 있는 뭔가 비장의 무기를 만들어가고 있는 그 과정인가요?
It feels like Protoss lately has kind of been your kryptonite.
다 썼어요.
최근에 많이 다 오픈을 했죠.
계속
How do you have- what do you have to say about that?
뭔가 할 게 없고 좀 약간 그런 상황이 됐는데.
GuMiho says, honestly, you know, I feel like I've revealed a little bit too much of my TVP builds. I feel like I'm maybe a little bit too predictable right now against Protoss.
네.
So next time I play against Protoss players, I have to do a lot of preparation and maybe come out with some new tricks. Now GuMiho, of course, saying thank you to everybody for showing up to the studio and the fans online for watching and cheering for him. He's wanting to show you guys some more mech plays in the future. And I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more mech from GuMiho when GSL comes back for the round of 8.
What a great day. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. These games were fantastic. I was excited for today. I was very curious how the TVTs are going to pan out. I learned a lot. I thought the big, you know, the closing theme was going to be, yeah, the Bunny's Raven timing attack that he does better than anybody else is super strong. But I'm also very intrigued to see this approach that GuMiho has of like basically slow dripping battle cruisers. A battle cruiser slow drip where he gets up to 5 one-shotting command centers. I want to cast a couple more TVTs because I feel like I'm still wrapping my head around it, but very cool.
Well, it looks like you might get a chance if we have a GuMiho versus Maru match at the round of 8 Group A.
Yes,
Dates,
please.
by the way, we are going to be off next week. June 11th and June 12th is when
That's
the
right.
round of 8 is going to be played.
No GSL next week. None.
Yeah.
So don't be confused. Say, where did it go? It's supposed to be happening. We're going to have a little break. Tickets will go on sale on Wednesday.
And it's going to be some really
Yeah.
fun groups. I mean, Rogue, GuMiho, Solar, and Maru. This is just a star-studded lineup. I'm really excited for this one. We're going to go deep dive into TVZ on that
for sure,
day.
for
and
sure.
then-
No Protoss is allowed. They're all in Group B.
Yeah, I mean, Heroes out in Classic going up against Bunny in Group B is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It was surprising to me, actually, Bunny, in his interview, he said that he actually feels pretty confident going up against Protoss. A lot of people these days, especially
Yeah.
the Zerg players, seem to be very stressed about those matchups.
Yeah.
But for Bunny, I think that confidence is probably going to go a long way. And by the way, ticket information right there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you get the semifinals and final tickets as soon as possible.
They will
5:30
sell
p.m.
out. They always sell out. And you don't want to miss out on that. We don't know when the next GSL will be. You know, once we finish this finals, it's going to be Saudi Arabia with the Esports World Cup, and then we'll see what the future of StarCraft 2 is. But
yeah, I mean, we had a long hiatus coming into 2025. Hopefully we don't have something like that going into 2026, but only time will tell. So get your tickets while you can.
for now, the only thing you can do is get your tickets. But yeah, I don't know. This has been a great first week here of GSL. I really enjoyed the round of 12s. The games are still killing it, man. StarCraft 2, what is it, 15 years old now?
Yeah, we've had some
And-
epic matches.
Yeah.
Both today and yesterday, these games have been spectacular. I feel like even better than the round of 12 we had last season.
I think so. I think so. Guys, that's all the time we have. We love you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Buy those tickets on Wednesday. Bye-bye.